What's that? Who are those people? Oh, that's super. Great.
Wait a minute.
Thank you very much. If you move it much more, I'm not getting any sun. Well, the best spot was right where it was.
Where can he can't work. I mean, it's real hard.
The Washington Redskins, coached by Jack Pardee, losers to the Dallas Cowboys and winners against the New York Giants on this 45-yard field goal by as good a kicker as there is in professional football, Mark Mosley. So the Redskins have lost one and won one against Tom Flory's Oakland Raiders. Opening day in Oakland, the Raiders have defeated Kansas City and a bitter defeat in overtime on this Dan Fouts pass that was lost in the sun by Lester Hayes, caught by John Jefferson, who compounded the injury by rolling into the end zone. And for Lester Hayes, why the sun on me? The NFL on CBS, the Washington Redskins versus the Oakland Raiders. A magnificent day at the Oakland Coliseum. The temperature in the high 60s, maybe even to the 70-degree mark. The field is in excellent shape, and I'm Vin Scully along with George Allen. George, the Redskins with Joe Thiesmenn come in, a badly banged-up ball club, a team that doesn't have that much of a running game, and yet Thiesmenn always brings an added dimension to a football team.
Yes, the fact that Joe can run, he did last week, 37 yards against the Giants, which was a big play, helps the Redskins' running game. When you play against Joe Thiesmenn, you have to contain him. Here, the left linebacker, 57, Scopan, did not do his job, and Thiesmenn took it in for a touchdown. It'll be interesting to see how the Raiders keep Thiesmenn in the cup and contain him.
For Joe Thiesmenn, that 37-yard run from scrimmage turns out to be his longest run in his career. And by the way, he has rushed, surprisingly enough, for 9 touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns for a quarterback.
Yes, and Joe is also the type of runner that'll make tacklers miss. He's not just a straight runner. We used him on punt returns one year.
So that's the story of Joe Thiesmenn and the Redskins. The Raiders are about ready, so let's go down to the field and take a look. At the toss of the coin, the Redskins won. They have elected to receive. So Ray Guy, who of course is well known for his fabulous punting, but he also kicks off for the Oakland Raiders. Guy, 8 years out of southern Mississippi. So Guy kicking off, and we'll check the deep men for the Skins. They'll have Mike Nelms, number 21, and Nelms figured to be a busy man along with Otis McKinney. So Ray Guy is ready. The temperature is up to 75 degrees. And Guy boots it to the deep man. That's Mike Nelms from 4 yards in the end zone. They tell him to stay there. Wilbur Jackson and Harmon hollering to him to stay in the end zone. So Washington will put it in play, 1st and 10 from the Redskin 20-yard line. The running backs, the veteran Wilbur Jackson, he used to play for the 49ers along with Clarence Harmon. The wide receivers, John McDaniel, Ricky Thompson, and the tight end is Rick Walker, number 88, playing in place of Don Warren. Dean, Saul, Kuzia, Williams, and Anderson, both Hermeling and Stark, cannot make the starting bell. First play is to Harmon, and he got maybe 2 yards, and that's about all.
You know, Ben, on that opening kickoff, Ray Guy had a 4.2 hang time. That's pretty good for a punt.
Though you have a look at the Oakland defensive 3-4 alignment, Matuzak, Kinlaw, and Browning. Kinlaw playing in place of Dave Pear. Then the 4 linebackers, Hendricks, Millen, Nelson, and Barnes. At the corners, Hayes and Jackson, and the safeties are Davis and Owens. Though it is 2nd and 7 on the 23. In motion is Ricky Thompson to the left. And here comes Harmon trying to get inside the block, and the black shirts down him. He had Dean pulling, but Fred Dean had too many black shirts to handle, and Browning and Millen bring him down.
Well, you know, Ben, I don't think either team's going to make a living running the football. It's going to come down to Thiesmenn versus Pastorini, throwing the football, pass protection, pass defense. Now, in this situation coming up, Joe goes to his backs. He likes Harmon, number 38, the Oakland linebackers are going to be tested today covering the Redskins offensive backs.
The offensive line has allowed only 2 sacks, but Oakland leads the AFC with 7 sacks, so that's quite a combination. Thiesmenn under heat, and Hendricks has him, and down he goes. Ted Hendricks, the mad stork, 225 pounds and 6'7", and he went in there to sack him, so that's the 8th Oakland sack and the 3rd allowed by Washington.
Well, the big thing here is that they contained him. They didn't let him scramble. Hendricks came in wide, had leverage on him off of the dog that they used. Very effective.
So the punt now by Mike Connell, and Connell kicking from the end zone. Standing deep will be Ira Matthews on the Washington 48-yard line. No score, just the early going. Connell had his protection and hangs it. Matthews a fair catch and then holds on to the ball. That was a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But he held on to it in Oakland territory. They'll spot it at the Oakland 48.
Good punt with a 4.6 hang time. Chances are you can't return a ball when it hangs up that high.
What's the bottom line as far as hang time? What makes it good? What makes it ordinary or poor? 4?
Anything over 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6 is excellent.
All right, here comes Oakland. 1st and 10. The ball on the Raider 47-yard line, and Pastorini in his first game for keeps in Oakland. Play action fake, and then he spins it off to Kenny King. King is to midfield and steps out of bounds in Washington territory at the Washington 46.
Well, they opened the ball game with a play action. Pastorini dumping the ball off to King. King gives the Raiders something they haven't had in recent years, and that's outside speed. How good a receiver he is still has to be determined. He has a little trouble catching the ball. That type of pass, he doesn't have problems.
King averaged 4.7 yards in his first 2 games. So Pastorini brings him out, 2nd and 3. The ball just shy of the 45-yard line, and it's big Mark Van Eegen busting his way and fumbling after the whistle, I believe. And he's down to the Washington 41. Van Eegen is within 30-some-odd yards of catching Clem Daniels as the all-time rusher in Oakland history.
You know, Vin, you always like to have a player like Van Eegen. He's steady, he's consistent, he never plays a bad game. He's always ready to do his job. That's the type of football players you like to have.
Well, he has just picked up the first down. They spotted at the 41. 1st and 10 on the Washington 41. Branch goes inside Chandler in a slot left. Casper, the tight end, on the right side. They go to Kenny King, and he is caught and spun at the 40 and dropped by Kenny Houston as he got back to the 40-yard line, a gain of 1.
Well, the Raiders use a slot formation. Kenny Houston comes over on the weak side. There's no better force man, strong safety in football than number 27, Kenny Houston. Another guy that's tough to run against is 71, Carl Lorch. He's tough on the run, and he can rush the passer.
So it is 2nd and 9 on the Washington 40-yard line. Again, a slot left, Branch inside Chandler. They're the same formation as the last play. Pastorini play action fake to Kenny King. Now dumping a little screen to King, but he is met and knocked out of bounds, and the man who came up to get him is a fellow who figures to see a lot of play today for the Redskins because of the fact their linebackers have been banged up. Monty Coleman has been playing a lot instead of Dusak and Olkowitz.
And, of course, not to have Dusak in there is a loss, but Coleman showed me something on that play. He showed me a lot of speed and quickness to get over and make the tackle.
So it is 3rd and 9 from the 40-yard line. 3 wide receivers now. Chandler and Bradshaw go slot right. On the left side is Cliff Branch, and they shake Casper loose on the left side. Flags on the play, and a sack. Pastorini fumbling in the air, and it's picked off by Coleman. Monty is going to go for the distance, but they're going to call it back.
The Redskins are offside. I tell you what Pastorini did, pretty smart. The Redskins had a dog on, a blitz. He staggered his cadence, and the Redskins fell for it. Watch it. See if we can see it. Right there.
Perry Brooks was the first man to move, number 69. That's Kenny Houston going over the top. The ball popped in the air for Coleman to get a little exercise, but that's about all.
The rule there, Vin, is Don't listen to his voice. Watch the football.
So that'll move it to the Washington 35.
Offside. Defense. 3rd down.
So the jump by Terry Brooks is a big play. That makes it a 3rd and 4. The ball on the Washington 35. 11:32 left in the first quarter, so pull up a chair. We're just getting at it. 75 degrees in Oakland, and the Raiders and the Skins no score. You have one of the outstanding teams in the AFC. What a record, 25-5 against the NFC. And the Oakland Raiders have won 20 of their last 21 from the NFC. They go out to Cliff Branch. He makes the reception, and Lavender drives him out of bounds at the 24-yard line, so he picks up the first down.
Good comment, then. If you play off a Branch that deep, he's going to run that 5-yard out all day. Now, Joe Lavender's laying back about 9 yards, 10 yards. They'll throw short and pick up 4 or 5 yards.
There's Jack Pardee, the coach of the Skins. He played for 15 years in the NFL, played 196 games after he came out of Texas A&M, where he played under Bear Bryant. 1st and 10 on the Redskin 25. Pastorini fake to King, setting up to go deep, and deep he does. No good intended for Chandler. He was defended by a trio, but basically it was Lavender along with Mark Murphy back there, and then Lamar Parrish.
Then the strength of the Redskins' defense is their secondary. They all have good hands. They all are ranging, have size, and have experience. You throw too much deep against that secondary, you're in trouble.
Question, George. Pastorini has thrown a bomb of 25 yards or so. How many bombs would you like to see a quarterback throw in a game?
As a general rule, we like to have 6 bombs a game. Whether they're successful or not, keeps them honest.
2nd and 10 on the Washington 25-yard line. Branch goes left, Chandler is right. Pastorini gives to Kenny King, and King is hit, but on his feet inside the 20, and loses the ball after the whistle. He had been hit by Kenny Houston and Mark Murphy.
Then I like the looks of King. He's got quickness, he's got speed. I think the Raiders made a good trade when they brought him in, and he should get better.
2 years from Oklahoma. You know, last year, only one of the Raiders' 5 running backs averaged more than 3.7. That was Booker Russell. And this year, Kenny King figures to do a lot better than that. So it is 3rd and 2 on the Washington 17-yard line. Kenny King, number 33, Mark Van Egan, number 30. And they go to Kenny King, stacked up and drive for yet another yard or so. He has to get to the 15-yard line. I don't believe he quite made it. Well, it'll be 4th and about a foot. You go for it, George? You go for the field goal?
Well, if it's 4th and less than a foot, I'd go for it. The Raiders have 2 tight ends in there. It's 4th and inches.
They're going to go. So they have Raymond Chester on the right side. Dave Casper on the left. Here comes Kenny King. There goes Kenny King, first down, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 9-yard line of Washington. It's 1st and goal.
That was a good call, off tackle. The Redskins are lined up inside charge, and when you go outside, you lose all that pursuit.
Mickey Marvin led the play and helped King get through that sizable hole for the first down. Marvin, number 65, 4 years in the league. And when you look at the Oakland offensive team, you take a look at those guards, Upshaw and Marvin, and you see some men in motion. There's men in motion. The Niners won by 10. 1st and goal from the 9. And here comes King, hit, still spinning, dragged down from behind by the middleman, and that would be number 57, Rich Millard. Otherwise, he's gone.
I tell you, then, one thing King doesn't do, the play was designed to go to the 5-hole strong, was an inside run. As soon as that hole isn't there, he bounces outside. Now, there's a happy medium there. Either you stay with the blocking or you bounce outside, and sometimes you get hit for a loss.
By the way, we'd like to welcome all the good folks in Los Angeles and in Southern California. It looks like you picked a good time to pick up the ball game. 2nd and goal from the 5 for Oakland. They started on their own 47. And here comes Mark Van Egan, and he's inside the 5, driving to about the 3. Malott, among others, helping to bring him down.
Well, they're pounding the left side of the Redskin defense. That's where Dallas had some success Monday night when they knocked off the Redskins.
You know, we were talking before about the Raider record. It's incredible. They've won 20 of their last 21 against NFC teams. They've won 25 out of 30 against NFC teams since back in 1970. So 3rd and goal, the ball spotted on about the 2-yard line of the Skins. And this time Pastorini throwing to Casper, no good, off his right hand. Dave Casper out there in the end zone.
Well,
couldn't haul it in.
He was wide open, but actually the ball was very difficult to throw. He's got a touchdown. The ball's thrown up behind him.
He's beaten Coleman.
Right. Beaten him completely. Good call. Poor execution.
So 4th and 3 from the 3, and Chris Barr, who last week missed 5 out of 6 field goals. He had 4 missed and 1 blocked. That's the first time a field goal kicker missed 5 in a game since 1971, would you believe it? And Barr this time makes his first effort good. So Chris Barr bangs it through, and the Oakland Raiders get on the scoreboard. Barr is now 4 for 9 in the early going. And we have 8 minutes and 22 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 3-0 Oakland over Washington.
Sometimes, if you heard what people think.
Checking out the new guy.
Cute, but he's scratching his head. Could be dandruff.
Likes the hair.
No flakes, but that itch probably needs Head and Shoulders.
She's gonna say hi.
Even if no one tells you, your itch could be telling them you've got dandruff. But Head and Shoulders every time handles that itch, treats hair gently, so all people notice is healthy-looking hair.
Great hair. Hi.
Head and Shoulders, because that little itch should be telling you something.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
So Pastorini overshoots Dave Casper, and Chris Barr kicks a 21-yard field goal. The Raiders lead 3-0, and now Ray Guy kicking off with 8:22 left in the quarter. Mike Nelms is the deep man, and he might have a chance to run this one. From 2 yards out, they say come. So he's to the 5, 10, to the 15, and he will be dragged down at about the 17-yard line. He was trying to follow Wilbur Jackson up the right side. Morris Bradshaw, quick man down underneath. There you can see 13 plays in 50 yards, and don't forget one of the bigger plays, Terry Brooks jumped offside.
Exactly, and the Redskins can also be thankful that they didn't allow a touchdown, because if Pastorini throws a good pass, Casper's in for 6.
Oh, it's 1st and 10 on the Washington 18, and we'll see how Joe Thiesmenn responds now. He has Harmon and Jackson. In fact, now Klatt is in there. Ricky Klatt gets out across the 20 and fights his way to about the 23. He's the rookie who did so well. He had over 5 yards a carry against the Giants last week, George.
Well, you know, one of the first things I always looked for in an offensive back was quickness, more so than speed. Not that speed isn't important. Klatt has some quickness. Watch him take off the next time he carries the ball.
He had 1 negative last week. He did fumble twice. Oddly enough, he didn't carry the ball at all against Dallas. So it is 2nd and 5 on the 23. Thompson in a slot right. And Thiesmenn going to the side, has his man at the 35-yard line, and Art Monk gives them a first down.
Well, I like the way Monk ran this pattern. Reminds me of Charlie Taylor and Roy Jefferson. He comes silly in there. He gives Joe a good target, protects the ball on the catch, and Joe threw a strike.
Art Monk is a rookie out of Syracuse, and they are extremely high on his abilities. You should see a lot of number 81 today. Monk goes wide left. John McDaniel right. Wilbur Jackson hurtling into a stack. The same Wilbur Jackson who made such devastating blocks for the 49ers to spring Delvin Williams loose.
A good all-around football player. He's playing halfback today, then, rather than his normal position of fullback.
He's coming off knee surgery in '78. You know, last year, Wilbur Jackson caught 53 passes. He was the 4th back in the NFC, so we might look for him to handle the football that way.
Yes, and the way Joe likes to use his backs, that's very important.
2nd and 8 on the Washington 37. They started on their own 18. It's 3-0 Oakland midway through the first quarter. Thiesmenn looking left, going that way, and has his man McDaniel on a pretty good catch. Just enough for the first down at about the 46. Monty Jackson right there to watch him go down.
Now, Monty Jackson, 42, is giving Joe a little room there to throw in front of him. Ball was thrown out in front, safe. Should be a completion. No chance for an interception when you throw the ball like that.
So it is 1st and 10 on the Washington 46. Thiesmenn starting to move his ball club. Joe, 7 years out of Notre Dame, the 2nd highest rated quarterback in the NFL last year.
361! 361!
Platt staying in to block for him. Thiesmenn over the middle, and the reception is made at the 45, and it's Ricky Walker, who was hit by Mike Davis and somehow held on to the ball, and that makes Walker a pretty tough customer.
Joe had good protection. Look at the time he has to throw. He still doesn't have to throw the football. Rifles it into Walker over the middle. Joe's developed into a fine quarterback. He's worked hard. He deserves any success he's getting. Good protection.
Now we go back to live, and Thiesmenn going for the first down, sends his man up the middle to get it. It was 2nd and 1 on the Oakland 45, and it is Ricky Klatt driving through. Friends, this telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Oakland Raiders and the National Football League is prohibited. Jack Pardee looks on as the Skins begin to move. Starting on their own 18-yard line, they have picked up a first down on the Oakland 43. Thiesmenn doing it with passes to Monk, McDaniel, and Walker. This time he asked Wilbur Jackson to do it on the ground, and he can't do it. Browning hit him right at the line of scrimmage. That's Dave Browning, 3 years from Washington.
An interesting thing that Thiesmann's going on the first sound just about every time. Everything's a quick count. The Raiders had penetration. Penetration stops the sweeps. They got across the line of scrimmage, forced them deep, made the play.
So it is 2nd and 10 on the Oakland 43. Thiesmenn relying on short and medium range passes. His longest pass so far this year is 22 yards. 2nd and 10 on the 43. And this time he's going to get a heavy rush, and down he goes and fumbled after John Matuzak hit him. So Matuzak, putting in the rush, swallowed him up. Big John is 6'8" and 280.
What the Raiders did is they dogged him off of that 34 defense. They gave him a little time. Now Joe stepped up to step up in the cup and run forward. In 72, John Matuzak made the play. Nobody was open. He did the right thing rather than putting the ball up for grabs.
Matuzak, way back in 76 in the preseason, was with the Washington Redskins.
Yes, he was.
3rd and 13 on the Oakland 46. Thiesmenn looking right, gets a little protection and goes over the middle to Harmon, juggled twice and no good. Picked off by Lester Hayes after being hit by Jeff Barnes, but he juggled and it hit. So Harmon unable to handle a hot potato.
Watch the ball. It hits right off of Harmon's hip. That's a tough place to catch the ball. Right on his hip, right in there, just behind. He's going one direction, the ball's going the opposite way. That's his favorite receiver, and Harmon's a clutch guy.
So the punt by Mike Connell, and Ira Matthews deep on the Oakland 10-yard line with 2:52 left in the quarter. It is 3-0 Oakland. Great punt coverage by Washington year after year. Let's see about this time. Matthews makes a stumbling catch and muffs the ball and then falls on it on about the 20-yard line, and that's where Oakland will put it in play. You know, last year the Redskins allowed both the lowest average punt return and average kickoff return. They're tough.
Well, set for a comfortable evening?
I hope so.
Then you should be wearing comfortable slacks, like Hager Magic Stretch.
All right.
It's the Hager Expand-O-Matic waistband and special stretch woven fabric of today's Daycron.
Terrific.
They won't squeeze your budget either. In Hager Magic Stretch, you'll feel as good as you look.
What more could a man ask for?
Well...
Nice of you to pop in, my dear.
A world car is coming, the new Ford Escort. Engineering teams from America and overseas have created a new car, built in America with better ideas from around the world. The front-wheel drive Escort has the highest gas mileage label of any compact, foreign or domestic, even higher than the subcompact Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Yet Escort has more room inside. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
Next Saturday, go trackside to the World Team Speedway Championships and rinkside to the U.S. Roller Skating Championships. 4:30 Eastern next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Well, they're smiling in Oakland up to the moment. The Oaks score a field goal, then stiffen on defense, and now put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Van Egan and King. Chandler goes right, and Horace King grabbed behind the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. Perry Brooks hit him first, but let's see.
Could be a face mask.
Perry Brooks, who was offside on that Oakland drive, was fired up, and you'll see 69 come charging in there, and I guess maybe he got a little bit of the iron.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
Got him right by the face mask.
And that was Perry Brooks, so that moves it out to the 21-yard line.
Grabbing the face mask foul, number 59, defense, 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
So the penalty against the defense, an automatic first down, and from the spot of the foul, it was behind the line of scrimmage, so they put it in play 1st and 10 on the Oakland 21. So they really gained 1 yard for keeps. King and Van Egan, the backs crisscross but stay in the block, and the pass is swallowed up at the 35-yard line. Cliff Branch going down on his knees to make the reception for an Oakland first down.
Then it's what we talked about earlier. Wherever Branch is 21, if you give him some room, if you play him 8, 9, 10 yards deep and don't give your corner any help, like Joe Lavender there, with his speed, he's going to hook up in front of you.
Branch coming off 7 passes and 1 touchdown so far in the early going this year. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 36. 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and the Raiders leading 3-0. Here goes Mark Van Egan, tried to get around and ran into Pete Wysocki, and down he goes. Coy Bacon had him at an ankle, but you're not going to bring Van Egan down with the ankle.
On that last play, we can't see it, but Lavender's playing Branch 10 yards deep.
Minnesota, a team that looked so poor last week against Philadelphia, rebounded a big victory over the Chicago Bears. They lose 1 trying to go wide left, so it's 2nd and 11 on the Oakland 35. Chandler goes wide right, Branch left, and the tight end Casper is on the right side. Pastorini looking to the right, throws low to Chandler, no good. Defending was Lamar Parrish. So Pastorini struggling a little bit right now.
You know, then I like the way Parrish plays pass defense. He sometimes gets a few penalties, but he's aggressive. He's around that football. You can't drive him off too much. That's why he ends up leading the league in interceptions.
There's Tom Flores. Tom Flores, a great name in Oakland history. He worked under Al Davis way back in 1963. 2 years with Buffalo, 2 years with Kansas City. Super Bowl champ, 1971 quarterback coach. He's really been busy. Pastorini, who is 4 for 5, has plenty of time, overshoots Branch, intercepted by Lavender, and Branch tackles Lavender at the 38-yard line.
Well, Ben, that's just what we've been saying. Lavender is playing so deep that Branch can't get beyond him. Now, he had a first down there, but he overthrew him. Looks like they had their signals crossed on that play.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Tide's just right.
That'll
be a full moon.
Hardly
any wind. And the lowing brow's cold. Sure beats the office.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be low and brow.
Sure hope the fish don't bother us.
Here's another Radio Shack major computer breakthrough. The amazing new TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only $249. Imagine a basic language computer that weighs just 6 ounces. Now carry TRS-80 power in your pocket while traveling, on the job, solve problems, process data, and store it in permanent memory for instant recall. The amazing TRS-80 Pocket Computer, only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
It's breathtaking, it's dazzling, it's unbelievable. It's special effects The Empire Strikes Back with host Mark Hamill Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Well, on this interception, here it is. It looked like Pastorini and Branch didn't have their signals straight. Lavender's playing deep, way deep. You can't overthrow Lavender. Looked like he thought Branch was going to run a different route and try to lay it in there, throw an interception.
That's the 4th interception of the year by Pastorini, and Washington puts it in play on their own 38. Ricky Thompson in motion to the right, and it'll be the second man, Ricky Klatt, but he is stacked up. Millen and Barnes hit him and dropped him almost immediately. Matt Millen, number 55, Jeff Barnes, the right side linebacker, and they just put the squeeze on him.
Well, neither team has been able to run, like we said at the top of the show, to amount to anything. It's going to come right down to this pass rush, pass protection for both sides.
You know, it's interesting. Pastorini has now only played 3 games against Washington in his career. You know, he's thrown 6 interceptions to the Skins.
The Skins defense has been very successful against Pastorini. You're right, Ben.
2nd and 8 on the Washington 40. It's Wilbur Jackson trying to find a hole and hanging on to him and bringing him down. Finally, is Monty Coleman. Bob Nelson, excuse me. Number 51 out of Nebraska. Had him by one arm and almost pulled the arm out of the socket. There he is, Bob Nelson, originally drafted by Buffalo. He also played briefly for San Francisco, picked up by Oakland as a free agent. Good play. Well, the first quarter is history. The Washington Redskins trying to get on the scoreboard. Oakland on a 21-yard field goal, leading 3-0.
When Ford started building a new generation of small cars, we called on the world. The incredible world of Ford.
Ford Motor Company, good morning. Mr. Howard.
Ford in Köln, guten Tag. Zentrale, Herr Joch.
Mr. Dobson, we have Italy on the line.
For over 50 years, Ford has been building small cars in Europe. Today, when America needs high-quality small cars, the incredible world of Ford is working to meet that need, building a new generation of cars with world-class technology right here in America.
If you could see tomorrow.
Tomorrow arrives October 3rd with a new Ford Escort and Mercury Lynx, competing with anything in their class from anywhere in the world.
Next Saturday, the U.S. goes wheel to wheel with the world's best in the World Team Speedway Championships from Poland. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Joe Lavender intercepting Dan Pastorini on the Washington 38. They haven't moved it very much. They've gotten it to the Washington 43 as we start the second quarter. 3rd and 5. Washington, Oakland leading 3-0. And they go slot left. Monk is the wide man. McDaniel in the slot. One back, Harmon release. Pressure for Thiesmenn. He's still scrambling and pointing and throws to Monk, who is hit at the reception and knocked out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
So Thiesmenn scrambling under a host of black shirts.
Now, the Raiders dogged, but they did not contain him. You're in trouble if you don't contain him. Joe has the ability to make the big play here.
That's Mike Davis chasing him wide now.
He throws a little bit off balance. His arm was hit. Monk catches the ball out of bounds.
So Washington sputters again, and it's 4th and 5 on the Washington 43. Mike Connell will be kicking to Ira Matthews. Connell from his own 30-yard line. Remember, Washington with great punt coverage, and he barely got that away. Matthews, a fair catch signal, and the ball hits and takes an Oakland bounce. So they were spotted shy of the Oakland 30-yard line. Mike Connell just did get that thing underway. It's still 3-0 Oakland.
How do folks feel when they service their cars with Napa brand parts?
Satisfied.
On top of the world.
Listen to it. Just listen to it.
I did it. And no parts left over.
Lots of Napa brand parts are better than a car's original parts. And using quality parts produces results that make folks feel
great.
When the name is Napa, the standard is quality.
Television should be more than an electronic tranquilizer. At its best as an art form, television should touch you, involve you, move you. The art of television. Experience it at its best on the one television that is itself a work of art. The Emmy Award-winning Sony Trinitron. Sony, the one and only.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer.
Building inspector. Hey, what are you guys doing here?
I didn't believe you two could build your own house.
Yeah, well, don't look. It's not finished.
Well, I guess we'll just take our loan, brow, and go home.
Well, maybe one quick look around.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brow.
What are you going to do when you finish this place? Just what I'm doing right now.
There's Mark Wilson, 23-year-old rookie out of Brigham Young, the Raiders' first-round draft choice. Might be a good one, huh?
Then I think he's going to be a great young quarterback. The Raiders made an excellent pick when they drafted Mark Wilson.
1st and 10 on the Raider 28-yard line. Whittington is in there now, and they're going to give it to Arthur Whittington, and he's swallowed up as Perry Brooks put his arms around him at the 30 and brought him down. Arthur Whittington, 3rd round out of SMU, a man whose name ranks right up there in SMU history with Doak Walker and Kyle Rote.
You know, what surprised me is that the Packers have needed a quarterback for some time, and they passed up Mark Wilson, allowed Oakland to select him.
Oakland has it a 2nd and 7 now on their 31, and you can see Pastorini's numbers, one big interception, but he's leading 3-0. Here goes Whittington. He has Van Eegen blocking, but he's going to run into a gang and tackled by Cloyd Bacon as he got across the 35. He's dropped at about the 38, and when they placed the ball, he might have picked up the first down.
Actually, the Redskins had an excellent defense against that. They strung the play out, used their hands, forced them deep, and he cut back against the grain and made a few yards. If anything, they overran it. Their pursuit allowed them to overrun the play.
They're going to measure now, George, about the first down, depending upon where they place it. It was close. He might have been a buck shy. Let's see.
You know, Vin.
Nope, he got it.
The Raiders, you mentioned it earlier, the Raiders have a fine offensive line. They've got experience, they got youth, they got some fine young talent sitting on the bench, and that's been one of the trademarks of this ball club, their offensive line.
You know, they have 10 first-round picks and 13 second-round picks, so they have some mighty fine young players in the black and silver. Here's Pastorini, 1st and 10 on the Oakland 38. Chandler, wide right, Branch left, play action fake to Van Eegen. Both backs release off Van Egen's fingertips, and it hits the ground. Dusick has his face in the grass, but Van Eegen couldn't hold it, and the Wolves are getting on Pastorini a little bit.
I tell you, this is a good play action pass. Now watch Van Eegen check down. Now the ball is throwing a little bit hard and a little bit high. That type of pass has to be laid in there.
So he missed Casper in the end zone. He overshot Branch for the interception. Now he misses Van Egan over the middle, and the Wolves begin to howl. 2nd and 10 on the 38. Both backs release. And Pastorini throws a wobbler to Van Egan, and he is hit and down immediately. Millard hit him and dropped him as soon as the reception was made.
And Van Egan made a heck of a catch on this. Watch. Pastorini is rushed. He steps up, and he throws the ball behind him. And he's hit as soon as he catches the ball.
So they move it out to the 44. That'll make it 3rd and 4, and there's another look on tape.
The ball is thrown behind Van Egan. And he stays with it.
He was getting heat from Perry Brooks, among others. 3rd and 4 on the Oakland 44. Bradshaw in a slot right inside Chandler now. Van Egan staying in to block. Pastorini down the middle, and it is picked off. Picked off by Tony Peters, and listen to them now.
Wow.
2 interceptions, and he has got a cold hand right now. It was intended for Dave Casper.
Tony Peters, 23. Good trade the Redskins made. Got him from Cleveland. They're in the nickel defense. Bad pass. The ball's thrown behind them and low. No chance to complete that to the offense.
A world car is coming, the new Ford Escort. Engineering teams from America and overseas have created a new car, built in America with better ideas from around the world. The front-wheel drive Escort has the highest gas mileage label of any compact, foreign or domestic, even higher than the subcompact Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Yet Escort has more room inside. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
The League of Women Voters invited President Carter to join the 1980 debates. He refused the invitation. Maybe it's because during his administration, inflation has gone as high as 18%. The number of Americans out of work has reached 8.5 million. Housing starts have hit a new low, while interest rates have hit a new high. Maybe he won't debate because he knows the real question is, can we afford 4 more years of this?
The time is now for Reagan. Reagan for president.
Dan Pastorini having a struggle today. He threw an interception earlier to Joe Lavender, intended for Cliff Branch. This one over the middle is picked off by Tony Peters, intended for his tight end Dave Casper. And immediately the crowd began to chant, "We want Plunkett." Jim Plunkett bailed out Oakland when Pastorini was shaken up last week, and it was Plunkett who got the touchdown to force the game into overtime. 1st and 10 Washington on the Skins' 40-yard line. Hendricks coming in, and the pass intended and caught by Jackson as he hits the ground, no good. And it was Ted Hendricks who put on the heat. Burgess Owens defending.
You know, on that interception, Casper was also open. A good pass, and Casper has the first down. Hendricks dogged, got his hands up, made Joe throw low. That's why the ball is incomplete.
And of course, when Hendricks, who is 6'7", gets his hands up, it's like throwing over a redwood. So it is 2nd and 10 on the Oakland 40-yard line. 3-0 Oakland. 12:32, however, to the half. Monk goes slot right with Ricky Thompson in the slot. Walker, the tight end, is on the right side. Wilbert Jackson goes up the middle and flags on the play. George, a note of strategy. They went slot right. They had the tight end on the right side, and yet with the flow going that way, they send Jackson straight ahead. There's the illegal formation, but doesn't that seem like a waste of manpower?
It is to some extent.
There is an upset. The Bengals upset the Steelers 30-28. Get back to your point, George.
Well,
there was no man on the end of the line. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Well, it could be something in the game plan where they want to take advantage of the Raider defense that we don't know about. What you're saying is correct. But there's some reason that they're doing it.
3rd and 9 on the 41-yard line. Washington really unable to get any drive. They have been stymied twice. As you can see, Miami hung on to beat Atlanta. We'll see Atlanta and the 49ers next week. 3rd and 9 from the 41, and there goes Harmon, still on his feet, and finally dragged down shy of the 45, hit by Jeff Barnes.
Well, Jeff Barnes then was dogging on that play, and he dogged right into the ball carrier. The Redskins had pretty good field position. They didn't take advantage of it.
No, the Redskins had the ball on their own 20, couldn't move it, and wound up going backwards to the 9. They had it on their 18 and finished out on the Oakland 46. On the interception, they had it on the Washington 40, and they go for 4 yards. That's all. Ira Matthews is deep, standing on the Oakland 38. Mike Connell gets it away, and he was unhurried that time. Matthews taking it at the 30, and he's going to be hit and knocked down, and the man underneath it was Wilbur Jackson, who got down there in a hurry to make the initial contact. And the Wolves are howling as Pastorini will go behind the wheel and take over on the Oakland 23.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Tide's just right. That'll be a full moon. Hardly any wind. And the low brow's cold. Sure beats the office.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be low and brow.
Sure hope the fish don't bother us.
A world car is coming, the new Ford Escort. Engineering teams from America and overseas have created a new car, built in America with better ideas from around the world. Four-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive, technically advanced engine, higher gas mileage ratings than Rabbit, Honda Accord, Toyota Corolla hatchback. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
Monday, Lou Grant, the Emmy Award-winning series premieres with an all-new episode. Be sure and watch Ed Asner as Lou Grant, premiering Monday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
11:43 to go to the half. The Oakland Raiders on a 21-yard field goal by Chris Barr, leading 3-0. Last week, Jim Plunkett came in with Pastorini hurt. He had a 4th and 17. He had a long count, pulled San Diego offside, then threw an 18-yard touchdown pass to Raymond Chester to force the game into overtime, then surrendered the duties back to Pastorini. 1st and 10 on the 23, and Kenny King gets out across the 25, maybe to the 27-yard line, a pickup of 4. Anything about Pastorini's delivery that you've noticed, George?
Then I think he's trying to force the ball in there. He's aiming the football. Now, he's had good protection also, and sometimes a quarterback is better when he doesn't have too much time. But he's had people open, and he's forcing the ball, aiming the ball, rather than just being himself and using his ability and rifling it in there.
You know, in high school, he was a baseball pitcher. He was drafted by the New York Mets. So maybe he's trying to aim that pitch to the strike zone, and it's hurting him as usual. Kenny King following Van Egan, hit from behind by Perry Brooks, and dropped as he got out across the 30-yard line to the 32. Perry Brooks has been playing a very aggressive game for Washington.
Perry Brooks made the ball club in 1977. He got injured for one reason. He can rush the passer, and he gets off on the ball with a jet charge. He's real quick. He and Bacon, Coy Bacon on the right side, give them an excellent pass rush.
That's number 69 in the maroon and white, Perry Brooks. So it is 3rd and 1 on the Oakland 32. King and Van Egan behind Pastorini. Jensen is an extra tight end, and Van Egan fought his way with a flag on the play, though we'll have to wait and see. Millard hit him and dropped him just about where he needed to be for the first down, and you see face mask against Washington, and that will take it alive for sure for Oakland and keep the drive going.
That's a good rule for safety, but it's so tough on a defense. Here's Millard, makes a good play, and he accidentally grabs the face mask.
Here's the call.
Grabbing the face mask foul, number 65, defense, automatic first down.
It was Butts.
And it was Dave Butts who got the hand in there. Millard had the tackle. See if you can see 65 reaching in there. Right there. Gotcha.
And Butts has big, strong hands. He can twist a guy's head off.
He's 6'7", 285 pounds is Dave Butts. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 38. Kenny King following wide. Van Egan cuts on his own. Really hadn't got a block yet. He was missed by Lamar Parrish, Carl Lorch, and Dave Butts. They all came in and he got away. It wasn't a case of Oakland blocking.
Well, now, Kenny King is giving them outside speed. He does this on his own. Threw a block at him rather than trying to tackle him, and Kenny Houston didn't have a shot at him either.
So he moved it out across to the 46-yard line, where it is 2nd and 2 for Oakland, leading 3-0 on a 21-yard field goal, 10-14 to the half. Slot left, Cliff Branch inside Bob Chandler. Kenny King again, and this time he's got some daylight. And finally goes out of bounds inside the 35 at the Washington 33-yard line.
I said earlier the Raiders made a fine trade when they got Kenny King. He looks better every play. Look at him hit that hole. Now he breaks outside, keeps the legs going, shakes off 2 tacklers, switches the ball, uses a straight arm, lowers his shoulder, gets knocked out of bounds by Parrish,
who has a bad shoulder and hadn't practiced all week. Lamar Parrish had to use that sore shoulder to ride Kenny King out. 21-yard scamper. It's 1st and 10 on Washington's 33. Branch is left and Chandler right. Whittington is in there now, and he's following Van Egan, and this time he is swallowed up immediately.
Well,
first of all, it was Brooks, then it was Malott and Wysocki.
You know, Vin, this entire drive, Pastorini has not thrown the football. He set the Redskins up for a good play-action pass with the success of their running game.
Let me ask you about the psychology of that. He's a little erratic. He's thrown 2 interceptions. If you're the coach, do you say to him, hey, cool it for a little while?
I think he's got to throw in here now.
Well, we'll see. 2nd and 10 from the Washington 33. Arthur Whittington and Derek Jensen in there. Branch goes left. Chandler goes right. Derek Jensen, number 31. Whittington, 22. Play-action fake. End around to Cliff Branch. Branch almost bumping into his own man. That's Lawrence, who had pulled. And let's see where he finally goes down. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage at best.
That play originally fooled the Redskins. They like to run weak side off of that. They run the reverse to their racehorse, Branch. But right in here, he kind of slips. And I believe it was Lawrence that got in his own way and slowed him down. That play has to develop a little bit quicker after the exchange.
3rd and 9 on the Washington 32. Oakland leading 3-0. 8:50 to the half. Slot right. Bradshaw's inside Chandler. Branch goes left. And Pastorini just got it away and threw it behind Bradshaw. Once again, Coy Bacon, along with Dave Butts, the reason why Pastorini was offline.
He was rushed, but yet, watch the replay. He has time to throw. The Redskins are in the nickel defense, and they're doggy. Now, Pastorini steps up here a little bit, but he's hit just as he throws the football. Again, he had 81 open.
It was a crunch, however. Dave Butts hit him. The Pastorini heard that thing all the way back to Houston. So it is 4th and 9. Chris Barr, who was 3 for 8 coming into this game and went 1 for 1. The hold will be at the 40-yard line. Bob Chandler will hold it. A 50-yard kick for Chris Barr. It's down. The kick is hooking and misses, hooking to the left. So Chris Barr, who kicked a 55-yard field goal last year, the longest in the AFC, kicked a 52-yard field goal in '78, the longest, but he misses from 50, and it's still Oakland 3, Washington nothing.
I told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance. Well, John, don't put marbles in the penny wrappers. He told us about one of Allstate's affordable life plans. For a 28-year-old, $50,000 of decreasing term insurance for about $11 a month. These pennies could pay for a couple of months. Well, John...
Well, you put your pennies in my marble jar.
Ask about Allstate Life's affordable life plans. You're in good hands with Allstate.
You work hard, heaven knows, but who knows where it goes? So you make it go further with milk. When it all seems to soar is a time you should pour a nutritious, delicious, cold glass of milk. Ah, milk, for all it's worth, may be the best buy here on earth. Now more than ever is a time for milk.
The Oakland Raiders thoroughly outplaying the Washington Redskins, but the Raiders are leading only 3-0. And the Skins put it in play from the line of scrimmage, which was the 32, 1st and 10, following Barr's 50-yard effort that failed. Klatt is in there with Wilbur Jackson. Play action to Klatt, and down he goes. John Matusak and Jeff Barnes are the two men to sack Thiesmenn.
The Redskins had a play-action pass, which is a good call by Joe Walton, 1st and 10. But the Raiders dogged. Matusik's man missed him completely, and Barnes came in and cleaned up from the backside.
So from the 32-yard line, they lose 11 back to the 21. That makes it 2nd and 21 for Thiesmenn. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in the half. So the offensive line had allowed only 2 sacks in 2 games, and Thiesmenn has been sacked twice today. Thiesmenn has the pass deflected and drops untouched. And again, more heat. John Matusak got those meat hooks in there. That man is 6'8". Reggie Kinlaw went in to drag him down.
Yeah, Joe sometimes throws line drives. Now watch this. He tried to throw right through the defender, and if you get your hands up, it's very effective. Again, the Redskins are very fortunate to only be behind 3 points. They're being completely outplayed. One play, they can take the lead.
The first time Washington had the ball, they started on their 20 and had a punt from the 9. They started on the 32, and they're back to the 21. And Buddy Hardiman is going to get to the 20-yard line and be happy he got there, because Cedric Hardman put some heat on him and dropped him.
Well, when you run the ball 3rd and 22, you're playing kind of conservative.
Well, Mike Connell has to come in and punt yet again for Washington. The Skins thoroughly mired, and of course one reason their regular tackles, Terry Hermeling and George Stark, are not playing. They're pretty well banged up. Ira Matthews standing back on the Oakland 42, and Mike Connell punting for the Skins. Mike gets it, and Matthews will handle it at the 43 and maybe get a couple, and that's all, as he goes nose first.
That was almost a line drive kick there.
So they're not letting Matthews do very much with the football.
No, 3.1 hang time.
A world car is coming, the new Ford Escort. Engineering teams from America and overseas have created a new car built in America with better ideas from around the world. The front-wheel drive Escort has the highest gas mileage label of any compact, foreign or domestic, even higher than the subcompact Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Yet Escort has more room inside. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
Paul, my quarterback's got a better arm.
Right on.
Better
than a pitcher? Namath, you've been out of the game too long.
That's enough talk, fellas. Let's let Flash decide.
Flash?
Yeah.
Flash is an electronic game for all-around competitors.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Flash tests your timing, reflexes, memory, and accuracy, because Flash is programmed for 5 challenging games. Flash keeps score for up to 5 players, and super shots mean super bonus points. Flash with 5 electronic games.
It's a great game. From Ideal.
Next Saturday, go for a spin with the nation's best at the United States Roller Skating Championships. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
React when he knows he has kicked a line drive punt. Keep your eye on Mike Connell. As soon as he kicks it, he knew. Now what? Oh, no. But he got away with it. Ira Matthews, who is quite a talented athlete, only picked up a couple. There's Mike Connell on the sideline. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 48, and we'll see about Pastorini now, whether he can turn the boos into cheers. Over the middle, and he's got Arthur Whittington, and Whittington drives for the first down as he gets down to the Washington 42-yard line.
Now that was a good call, and Pastorini almost overthrew Whittington. Watch this. He goes up in the air and makes a catch. Good call. Counter the rush, and it's a safe play, and get a few completions and get your confidence.
So they'll spot it at the Washington 41. 1st and 10 for Pastorini and company. leading 3-0. High again off Cliff Branch's hands. Branch was wide open.
I don't. That's what I've said. I'll say it again. The Redskins are very fortunate they aren't behind by 10, 13 points. He was wide open. Branch was wide open. Pastorini had all day to throw. Watch the protection. Nobody close to him. In fact, he pumped 3 times. And when you throw the ball high, Vin, that's when you get the tip balls and the deflections and the interceptions.
Well, you can see Pastorini's numbers. The big one, of course, the 2 interceptions. It is 2nd and 10 on the 41 of Washington. In motion is Chandler. Egan staying in to help out. And the pass to the right side off the hands of the intended receiver, Cliff Branch, as he went out. Probably a late hit on Pastorini. And it will bring the ball down to the Washington 26-yard line. And we'll get the call from Jerry Markbright. Personal foul.
Roughing the passer, number 69, defense, first down.
Yeah. So he'll see Perry Brooks, the boy we were talking about who's been playing such aggressive football. Here comes Perry, 69,
well, he
dropped him.
Looked like he gave him an elbow right in the face.
So 1st and 10 on the Washington 26, the number 1 man in Oakland, Al Davis, taking things in. Pastorini on a draw to Kenny King, and he couldn't get it off the board. And Dave Butts just swallowed him up. That was not only a draw, that was a draw and a half.
Yeah, that was a double delayed draw. Butts almost had the ball. There it is. He has a tough time getting it to him there.
Wysocki putting on a lot of heat.
Yeah, Wysocki dogged and met him at the exchange. We just saw a shot of Al Davis. Any organization that Al Davis is associated with is going to win.
Well, there's big Dave Butts along with Carl Lorch and Perry Brooks trying to put some pressure on Pastorini. 2nd and 10 on the Washington 26. 5:46 to the half, 3-0 Oakland. And Pastorini going to go upstairs again. This time it's to a great catch by Casper. Dave Casper caught it off his ear, even though Tony Peters was hitting him at the same time.
And another flag down. Oh, looks like it might be holding.
Gee, that was a remarkable catch by Dave Casper. Of course, he's made many in his career.
He has. I was asked to pick an all-pro team then, and I put him on as my tight end.
Dave Casper, but all for naught. The penalty will be exacted against Oakland. So just when Pastorini started to have them moving from the Oakland 48 to the Washington 26, something goes against them.
Holding, number 78, offense, 2nd down.
That's Art Shell, a veteran, 13 years, 7 times in the Pro Bowl, and 4 times in All-Pro, but he was caught holding. That spots it back on the Washington 36, 2nd and 20. And he dumps it off a little screen to Van Egan, being chased by Monty Coleman, who drags him out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Wow.
So they picked up 16 yards, and they're going to have it 3rd and 4.
Ben, that was an excellent call. I tell you why it was such a great call. It's good against the nickel. It's good against 5 defensive backs. Number 7, Pastorini's having trouble throwing the ball. You can always throw a screen pass. Good blocking. You give it to a solid guy, number 30, pick up big yardage.
Van Egan picked up the yardage thanks to a good block by Mickey Marvin, 4 years out of Tennessee. Number 65 made the play go, so it's 3rd and 4 on the Washington 20-yard line. Branch goes left, Chandler right. The backs release. Pastorini with time, throwing to Casper, and the tight end goes in. Touchdown.
Well, here's what happened on that. He had protection to throw. The Redskins got to rush him more than that. Now, Joe Lavender slips and falls. I don't know whether we can see it. You see Joe Lavender on the ground there? Slips and falls. Casper goes in.
That's his first touchdown reception of the year, and it makes it now 9-0 Oakland. Chris Barr, who was 6 for 6 in points this year, goes 7 for 7. And with 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to the half, Oakland thoroughly outplaying the Washington Redskins, and finally they have a little bit of a cushion to lean on. It's Oakland 10 and Washington nothing. Well, George, Washington still has time, of course, to get very much back in the ballgame, but they're going to have to do something.
You know, interesting, when you said 10-0, Oakland led Washington 10-0 at RFK Stadium, and the Redskins came back and scored over 30 points and beat them.
I don't know whether the Redskins are capable of that kind of an offense this year. We'll be finding out shortly, however, as you see Bob Chandler talking to Tom Flores. The Redskins lost 17-3 to Dallas, and they were able to beat the Giants 23-21. For Dan Pastorini, that was his 100th touchdown pass in his colorful career. And now, here's the kickoff by Ray Guy, and Washington getting a return. Zion McKinney from the 10 to the 35 and across the 40 to the 41. I love that name, Zion McKinney, a rookie out of South Carolina. Here's a veteran who has already thrown for 99 of them, George, going for number 100.
This was a big play for him. He's been having pressure and trouble, and the fans on him.
Now, could you tell the pass was complete or incomplete by his action?
No, that's a pro. He's a real pro.
1st and 10 on the Washington 41. Here goes Ricky Klatt spinning across the 45 and out to the 46-yard line, and he did that on his own. Burgess Owens finally stopping him.
Now, we had a rule that when you received good field position, you had to take advantage of it.
Who's we, George?
Washington Redskins.
I hear you.
LA Rams.
Okay.
The Redskins have excellent field position right now. They got to put some points on the board, even if it's just a field goal.
2nd and 5 on the Washington 46. Slot left with Thompson now coming out of the slot in motion. Monk is wide left. Wilbur Jackson following Jeff Williams trying to block, but there's only one Jeff Williams, and there's a half a dozen Oakland Raiders. John Matuszek finally knocking Jackson out, along with Ted Hendricks.
It's tough to run wide on Ted Hendricks. He uses his hands, he strings the play out, and it's tough to run wide on a 34 defense. Any ball club. Not
Are you
just
telling me then that that's not a good play selection?
I don't think it's a good selection, first of all, because you got a fullback running wide, playing halfback.
3rd and 4 on the 47-yard line. Harmon and Buddy Hardiman now comes in the backfield. John McDaniel left and Art Monk right. And it's going to go to McDaniel. And he's inside the Oakland 45, and they'll put the line of scrimmage at about the 42. Mike Davis finally making the hit.
Now, the reason that was a good call is that it's a quick pass. The Raiders have been dogging and putting the pressure on Joe. Even if they dog, he can get that ball off.
You know, it doesn't mean very much, but 4 years ago, John McDaniel caught 9 passes against Oakland. So he's got a good memory against his club, if nothing else. 1st and 10, and they give it to Ricky Klatt, and he squirts to maybe the 39.
Well, Joe is running everything on a quick count, so the Raiders can't get set and organize their dogs, and if they try to dog, they might be a little bit late in coming across. Good offensive thinking.
They'll spot it at the Oakland 40-yard line, so it is 2nd and 8. 3:37 left in the half. And the Skins down 10-0, trying to get on the board. Jackson and Klatt. Thompson goes left. Monk goes right. Walker, the tight end, on the left side. And a lot of movement by the Raiders. Jackson is going to be caught up. He was hit by Browning and Hendricks along with Matuszak, but I think Oakland might have been drawn off.
It could be that the Redskins are off. 81.
Really?
The wide receiver was in motion.
Uh-huh. Yep, you got it. So Oakland was bouncing around up front, but they remained outside the neutral zone.
We can't see it. It's the bottom of the screen. Art Monk was in motion.
So the rookie trying to get a jump on the secondary.
Number 81, offense. declined.
There it
Third
is.
down.
There he is.
So from 2nd and 8, the penalty is declined. The Raiders want the down. That makes it 3rd and 8 on the Oakland 40. In fact, they're going to put it back to the Oakland 42. Monk goes left with McDaniel. Walker, the tight end, on the right side. Harmon and Jackson, the running back. Hendricks. He got away from Hendricks. And he's still going to the 40, 35, 30, and down. And he took a lick at the last minute by number 86. Cedric Hardman hit him from behind. Otherwise, he might be off to the races.
Great individual effort by Thiesmenn. The Raiders again are dogging. It's been successful. Here's Hendricks, comes in, puts his hands up and jumps and loses Joe. You don't leave the ground. That's the mistake he made. Now, we talked about Joe's ability to run, but make people miss. Look what he does here. That's a big play the Redskins needed.
So it is 1st and 10, the ball on the Oakland 29-yard line. Big scamper by Thiesmenn on a 3rd and 8. Now on 1st down, Wilbur Jackson crashing into number 51, Bob Nelson. And they hit head on. Nelson played with Buffalo, briefly with San Francisco, 5 years out of Nebraska, so he's somewhat traveled.
Well, they're dogging. From the 34, they're sending a linebacker in every play. That time, Nelson came in, nobody blocked him.
There's Bob Nelson, 6'4", 230, 27 years old. And there'll be a timeout down on the field as we come to the 2-minute warning. With the Redskins on a move thanks to a scamper by Joe Thiesmenn, they'll have it 2nd and 9 on the Oakland 29, while Oakland is sitting on a 10-0 lead.
Excuse me. I'm not the same crazy coach who used to storm around the sidelines yelling at the officials. I've learned to relax, and I drink light beer from Miller. Do you know that light's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer? And listen to this. Light doesn't fill me up. Besides that, light tastes fantastic. Oh, sure, there are a lot of other beers around, and you can drink any one you want. But let me tell you this.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
As I was saying, I don't care what anybody else...
A world car is coming, the new Ford Escort. Engineering teams from America and overseas have created a new car, built in America with better ideas from around the world. 4-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive, technically advanced engine, higher gas mileage ratings than Rabbit, Honda Accord, Toyota Corolla hatchback. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
The World Today. 60 Minutes covers it all. Be watching when the most popular program of last season begins a new season with 3 brand new stories. Sunday.
Joe Thiesmenn at the wheel for Washington has completed 5 of 9 passes for 52 yards, but his biggest play was his own run on a 3rd and 8. So now it's 2nd and 9 on the Oakland 29. Platt and Wilbur Jackson behind Thiesmenn. Joe is looking over the middle, and he's got Monk, who is dropped at the 15-yard line by Monty Jackson. But it's a 1st down, and the Redskins now have circled the wagons.
They're on offense now. They've taken advantage of that field position they had thanks to individual effort by Thiesmenn. The last play was well executed off of play action. Monty Jackson was right with him, but the ball was perfectly thrown.
You know, a quarterback who has given Oakland a bad time in recent years is Jim Zorn of Seattle because of his movement.
Yes.
And Thiesmenn can do the same thing. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 15. Play action fake to Platt. And Thiesmenn, a lob pass to Walker. The tight end is going in for the touchdown. Rick Walker, 4 years out of UCLA, brings it home.
Well, we call this a delayed check flat. Play action, all day to throw. Nobody covered him. Usually you assign a linebacker to cover that guy. They forgot about him completely. Excellent call, perfect execution. The Redskins, as we said, one play, they're back in the ball game. Oakland's had control. but they're only ahead by 3 points.
For the Redskins, two of their tight ends pretty well banged up, Phil Dubois and Don Warren. So it is Rick Walker who brings it home for the TD. Mosley now hammers it through, no doubt about it. Mosley is remarkable. That point for Mark Mosley will be the 700th point of his career. The only active NFC player who has scored more points is Garo Yepremian. So that was number 700 for Mosley. And take a reaction now on the touchdown to Rick Walker.
Well, fake to the fullback. The tight end blocks, delays, checks in the flat. The longer you delay on that, the more open he is.
What a difference from Pastorini. Remember how unflappable Pastorini was? Thiesmenn almost jumped out of his pad.
Joe's an emotional quarterback. I like emotional people. I think it spreads to your ball club. That type of leadership is contagious.
Well, we have 1 minute and 13 seconds to the half, and we now have a ball game. It had been all Oakland, even though they didn't run away with it. They led 3-0, finally 10-0, and Washington, after the kickoff, starting on its own 46-yard line, the pass to Rick Walker for the TD to get them very much back in the game. Matthews and Whittington go deep this time. Matthews, number 43, Whittington, number 22, so they have a couple of rabbits back there to try and return the kickoff. Mark Mosley, 700 points now in his career. Boy, does he have strong legs. They tell me that he can leg squat and press 500 pounds, George.
He can. I've seen him do it. He works in the off season. He's a dedicated football player.
His kick is high and short. Whittington is going to handle it on the 8-yard line to the 10. Hit by Bobby Hammond and moves forward for maybe a yard. Mike Nelms dropped him as he crossed the 20-yard line. And again, Washington, marvelous special team punt and kickoff coverage.
They have. They've always had good special teams, and it's a third of the game. You can win some games when your offense and defense are having trouble just on the kicking game. Now, interesting strategy here. What is Pastorini going to do?
What do you think he'll do? Guess.
I'd go for at least one bomb to number 21, Branch.
All right, 1st and 10 on the 16. Branch goes left, Chandler goes right, and Pastorini's going to the air. And he's going to release it to Van Egan, and he took his eye off the ball, and well, he should, with Kenny Houston breathing on his neck.
He heard footsteps, and again, you know, Pastorini has had excellent protection today, Ben. Very seldom has he been rushed. Now watch this. He wants to go downfield. The receivers are covered. Now he dumps it off laterally to Van Egan. Egan sees Kenny Houston there, takes his head away from the football, eyes off the ball.
You know, Pastorini was a first-round draft choice of Houston in '71. You might not remember that Kenny Houston was a draft choice for Houston 2 years earlier. Both backs releasing, and it's over to one of them, Mark Van Egan, for the first down, and he'll go out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line, but he does pick up the first down and stop the clock, 57 seconds.
And that's a very similar type of play that the Redskins just scored on, only it's to the back, to the halfback. The halfback checks flat, and the linebacker let him go, and now he uses his speed to pick up as much yardage as he can and gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
Van Egan, who today will become the greatest rusher in the history of the Raiders, he'll pass Clem Daniels. 1st and 10 on the Washington 34. Van Egan staying in to block. Pastorini fakes, and Carl Lortz buys him and knocks him down at the 20-yard line. And you can see Pastorini stopping the clock with 53 seconds.
You know, Carl Lortz, number 71, came to the Redskins in a trade with Miami, is an all-around defensive end. He can rush the passer, he can play the run. He's a good athlete. They ran a stunt there, and he came inside. Nobody picked him up.
And you know, he's playing with a sprained neck. That even sounds painful.
He's tough.
Oh, I guess so.
And he never complains, always on time. That type of a guy, Ben.
It is 10-7 Oakland, 53 seconds left to go in the half. They did some research up here over Raider quarterbacks and their effectiveness. George Blanda turns out to be the most effective Raider quarterback in history. but he didn't throw the ball that much. But he had a touchdown every 10 passes. And one of the top 4 happens to be the coach, Tom Flores, because in Flores' playing day, he threw a touchdown every 17 passes. He threw 92 of them for the Raiders. So he's a pretty good man at the helm.
Remarkable record. I still think we should see or will see one bomb in here before the half to 21.
Question. I asked you how many bombs in a game. You said 6. Right. Definition of a bomb. How many yardage?
Anything over 40 yards.
Oh, over 40. 2nd and 22. The ball on the 22-yard line following that sack by Carl Lloyd. Pastorini has it juggled and knocked down. Joe Lavender, who intercepted one earlier, took it away from Branch, but then couldn't hold on to it.
Beautiful coverage by Joe Lavender. Watch Joe Lavender come up, jam Branch, and then run right with him. He's got a man for man across the field. Now he takes the inside position, which is smart. Joe's got long arms and good hands. Very fortunate Pastorini didn't have that intercepted.
Joe Lavender was the only player in the NFL who played wearing glasses.
Joe's a conscientious football player, studies, knows his assignment, doesn't make mistakes.
3rd and 22 on the Oakland 22. We have 46 seconds to the half. 10-7 Oakland. Pastorini looking to Van Egan. And coming up to get him is Tony Peters and drops him in his track at the 20-yard line.
Wow.
36 seconds left to the half.
That series, the Redskins' 4-man rush put pressure on Pastorini. They've disrupted his timing. He's used to having time to throw up to that series. This last series, he was very fortunate to get the ball off. He had to dump it off.
Now with a 4th and 23, the ball on the Oakland 21-yard line. Ray Guy, the marvelous punter, will be asked to boot it out of there. And for Ray Guy, ask him to kick one, he is rarely, if ever, found wanting. A statistician up here figured it out that in his career with the Oakland Raiders, Ray Guy has punted for over 11 miles.
Wow.
I mean, that's a road trip no matter how you look at it. His longest, 3 years ago, he kicked one 74 yards. Last year, he hit one 71 yards.
He's in a class by himself.
He was a first-round draft choice, the first kicker ever to be drafted first. That was back in 1973. So Ray Guy out of southern Mississippi. He'll be kicking to Mike Nelms with 32 seconds in the half. 10-7 Oakland. And Guy gets it away. Nelms at the 40 and will drop to his knees. So they'll start at the 39 of Washington.
Nelms showed bad judgment there. He had plenty of time to return that ball. He signaled for a fair catch. He was expecting a different type of punt.
Well, 1st and 10 Washington. Well, George, you're down by 3. You have 27 seconds. Would you go for a bomb?
I would do just what I said Pastorini ought to do. I'd go deep at least once. The way the rules are, the worst you should get out of it is an incomplete pass.
So 1st and 10 on the Washington 39, and let's see what Thiesmenn does. He's going to crank it up. And goes over the middle, and he has his man, Walker, who scored the touchdown earlier, and Walker is dropped at the 45-yard line. Mike Davis, the strong safety there to bring him down. The clock is running with 12 seconds, and Thiesmenn. Deep drop over the middle, no good. And he was looking this time for Walker, and hold it. Pass interference, Matt Millen was right there, and it might be against Oakland.
By the way, I think Matt Millen, 55, is doing a good job for the Raiders.
Pass interference, number 55, defense.
He's a rookie out of Penn State, and they have sure produced a lot of fine linebackers.
They have. 2nd-round pick.
He's also 260 pounds, which is kind of big, and yet he moves well.
He's a good athlete.
So 6 seconds to the half. 10-7 Oakland. Thiesmenn, chance for a play. You think the bomb is now, huh?
Well, he doesn't have time here to throw another short pass and stop the clock. He might take a chance. You got time to throw 2 bombs here.
The ball is on the 48 line of Oakland.
60-foot punch.
Thiesmenn getting some heat, but he got away from Hardiman, chased by Jones, and threw it away. And I think it'll be a penalty against Thiesmenn for intentionally grounding the ball. But he did it as time ran out. So Joe Thiesmenn scrambled. Joe Jones and Cedric Hardman caused him to throw it away. However,
offense, the half is over.
It certainly is. And it is 10-7 Oakland. Pastorini has been ice cold. Normally at this stage, the way the teams are playing, you would expect Oakland to have built up a big lead.
Yes, Ben, the Raiders had a chance to have at least 2 touchdowns. They also missed a field goal, kicked one. The Raiders have dominated the ball game, but they're only ahead by 3 points. The Redskins are in the ball game. They're having trouble running the football, but with a quarterback like Joe, he makes things happen on his own, like he did in that one scramble.
Now, if you're the Washington coach, I know you're going to say, hey, they've dominated you, but you're only 3 points down. If you're the Oakland coach, what do you say?
I'm going to be a little bit upset with our offense. We got to take advantage of the opportunities we had. And I do things to strengthen Pastorini's confidence.
How do you do that if you get upset?
Well, I would do this. I'd not threaten him or do anything that we're going to take him out and put in Plunkett or Mark Wilson or somebody. Just keep doing what you're doing. Be yourself. The game plan is on the button. They'll start dropping in.
Question, could a quarterback have too much time to throw?
Then many times a guy will have so much time that he'll try to see too many things and get an interception. Most of passing is precision. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, throw the ball. It's nice to have the protection. The Raiders have given him extra
That's
protection.
what I was wondering about, whether he's had too much. Well, whether too much time or not, we never have too much time. The sand's running through the hourglass for the players, also up here at the booth. Vin Scully along with George Allen at halftime. Oakland 10, Washington 7.
Using this surgical fiber optic camera lens, Prestone Labs is going to show you what weak, neglected antifreeze can do to your radiator after only 9,000 miles. Look at these passages: rust, corrosion. Continued neglect could clog them and overheat this radiator. Before this happens to you, put in Prestone 2. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula that forms a tough protective barrier to lock out rust and corrosion. Prestone 2 and Prestone Super Flush. No wonder we're #1.
The value of your money is more important than ever these days, so get professional answers to financial questions like these.
Pop will be leaving the business in a few years to retire. Isn't now the time he should get professional advice on his retirement plans?
A good retirement program is important. For the advice you need, see your full-service bank. They've got the answers.
You know, this baby is really going to help me do a lot more work. I wonder, though, if I ought to buy it or lease it.
Let a professional help you decide what's best. See your full-service bank. They've got the answers.
My girls seem to have grown up faster than my income. Now Susan needs braces.
And Shelley's ready for college.
I guess we'll have to borrow some money. There are lots of ways.
Which is best for us?
Keep your checking and savings at a full-service bank and get professional answers to your financial questions. America's full-service banks. We've got the answers.
Tuesday, a CBS special movie presentation. Papillon.
Welcome to the penal colony of French Guiana, whose prisoners you are, and from which there is no escape.
I want that name, and I want it now.
Papillon.
That man risked his life to save mine.
Starring Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman as prisoners facing insurmountable odds in their flight to freedom. Papillon, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Back in New York, I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. You will not believe what the Los Angeles Rams have come up with. 2 touchdowns on interceptions of 99 and 83 yards. Now, the game was starting to close up. The Packers drove back on this play. Lynn Dickey went to Eddie Lee Ivory. It was a 40-yard touchdown for Green Bay. After the extra point, it was 17-7. Packers recovered a fumble. They were driving again. Dickey wanted to hit his man in the end zone, and instead the rookie from Texas intercepted and was on his way. A 99-yard touchdown run. Here's the man that sparked all the controversy. $1 million contract out there on the West Coast. Worth it in that sequence right there. Then it was Vince Ferragamo as the Rams suddenly came alive. He went to Willie Miller for a score. Suddenly it was 31-7. And Dickey again. This time it'll be Rod Perry who will burn him. And this will be the 83-yard return for still another Ram touchdown. And they come just a point shy of the NFL record of 45 points set by the Packers for the most points in one half. As it is, they lead 44-7. Elsewhere, would you believe what San Francisco did today? Over the Jets, 37-27, 2 touchdown passes by DeBerg and 2 by Montana, but Richard Todd was 42 of 59 in that game for 447 yards. Walter Payton held at 39 yards and 16 carries. Ted Brown explodes for Minnesota, 22 carries, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that game. Detroit and Billy Sims now 3-0 as they shoot down St. Louis 20-7. Sims, though, came up just short of 100 yards, 25 carries, 95 yards, and 1 touchdown. Miami rallied as Uwe von Schamann wins it with 32 seconds left and a 27-yard field goal, and Bob Greasy did the job off the bench. Upset, Cincinnati 30, Pittsburgh 28. They come from behind the throwing Samoan. The Steelers turned the ball over 6 times in that game in Cincinnati. Cleveland downs Kansas City 20-13, and Charles White scores for the first time as a pro. As a matter of fact, the former Trojan scored twice, once running and once catching a pass. He caught 8 passes for 100 yards today. And Buffalo downs New Orleans 35-26. Joe Ferguson from behind. He was 22 of 31 for 295 yards. Baltimore loses to Houston. They made a run at him. Earl King carries 11 yards and 1 touchdown. Stabler 18-21 for 218 yards. There's the game you're watching, some of you at the half, 44-7 now. Los Angeles over Green Bay. And elsewhere, these games all still in progress. New England and Seattle are tied. The biggest enigma in football, the New England Patriots. 17 all right now in the second. Now elsewhere, games still working. Oakland over Washington at the half. 10-7 is the count right there. San Diego trying to win for the first time in Denver since 1968, and it looks like they're going to get the job done. And Rolf Bernerski has kicked a 53-yarder in that game. Fouts went 22 yards to Joyner, and Tampa Bay leads Dallas, and this has been a dandy game so far. Doug Williams has run for 1 from 11 yards out. He's gone 49 yards to Giles. It is a marvelous game, and the NFL today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
This is CBS.
Back now with some highlights. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. The defending world champions Steelers were upset in Cincinnati today. And for a time, it looked like the Bengals were going to have trouble even moving the football as Kenny Anderson limped off the field with a knee injury. But the throwing Samoan stepped in to replace him. Terry Bradshaw kept the Steelers going. Here he is on a crossing pattern to Swan, 68 yards, the longest reception of Swan's brilliant career, and suddenly it was 21-13 Pittsburgh. But back came the Samoan, Isaac Curtis, 18 yards. It was 21-20 Pittsburgh after the extra point. Young Greg Hawthorne then took over for the Steelers, turned the corner on this tough 4-yard run right here for a score, and this put the Steelers up by 8 after the extra point. But back again came Thompson. This time to Don Bass for the touchdown, 22-yarder. And again, it was a 1-point Steeler lead. Then, the key moment in the contest, Frank Pollard. Up the gut for the Steelers, fumbles on the kickoff. Recovered at the 35-yard line. Ian Sunter later kicked this 21-yard field goal, and that gave Cincinnati a 30-28 lead. But there was time. And a 51-yard try by Matt Barr, with time running out, was long enough but just wide, and Cincinnati Irv had scored a 2-point win.
It's a big win, of course, for the Minnesota Vikings in Chicago today, Brendan. They went into Chicago and beat the Bears by a score of 34-14. Tommy Kramer only threw the ball 17 times, completed 8 passes for 151 yards, and in the first quarter he hits a bomb right off the bat. Number 9 going to number 28. Ahmad Rashad, who makes a great fingertip catch along the left sideline, and he prances in 76 yards later, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. The Viking defense is also sharp today as Mike Phipps had trouble connecting. Right here, number 45, Tommy Hannon picks off an errant pass. He goes in, and the Vikings now have a 14-0 lead. Number 23, Ted Brown for the Vikings, did a pretty good job carrying the ball on the ground. Here he romps 55 yards right up the middle, and the Vikings are making it a rout, 21-0. Vince Evans came in replacing Mike Phipps, tried to get his club on the board quickly, and goes to number 80, Ricky Watts, and connects for an 89-yard TD bomb. A lot of bombs today, Brent. That one, 89 yards, Minnesota 28, Chicago 14. Robert Miller, number 35, rips off his left tackle, and 26 yards later, he's in for a touchdown, and it ends that way. Minnesota 34, Chicago 14.
Meanwhile, the Lions got it going on this screen pass. Danielson to Horace King for the score. It was 10-0, Detroit over St. Louis in the Silverdome. Jim Hart looking for Mel Gray, who has not lost his speed, and it was 10-7 as Gray zipped in. Play started back on the Detroit 36-yard line. Billy Sims scored today, 25 carries, 95 yards, and 1 touchdown. This was his touchdown. 27, the final. Detroit over St. Louis was the count there. Isn't that an amazing performance by young Billy Sims? And now, let's send you back to the stadium.
Hi, everybody. Vin Scully along with George Allen. Welcome to the Oakland Coliseum. It's halftime, 75 degrees, but the most important numbers, I guess, in the first half would be Pastorini's 2 interceptions and a 12-yard run by Joe Thiesmenn. Now, of course, would be oversimplifying things, I guess, George.
Pastorini's had the time to throw. He's overthrown his receiver a couple of times when he was open. He's forcing the ball in there.
As far as the plays are concerned, Chris Barr opened up with a field goal. Dave Casper scored a touchdown, and then the Skins came back. Here's Pastorini getting plenty of time and then overthrowing the intended receiver, Cliff Branch, picked off by Joe Lavender, and that's when the Wolves first started to howl up here. Lavender finally tackled by Branch. That was the first interception. Later on, Pastorini is looking over the middle. He has Mark Van Eegen, and he throws it over Van Egen's hands. This time it landed untouched. Again, Pastorini is going over the middle, and this time Tony Peters takes it away from Dave Casper, the tight end. Meanwhile, Joe Theismann's team was thoroughly outplayed. Joe had a little bit of time. He went to his big tight end, Rick Walker, 4 years out of UCLA, and Walker took it in for the touchdown. And so even though the Redskins had been thoroughly outplayed in the first half, they are very much in the ball game. It's halftime. Minutes away from the kickoff, it is Oakland 10 and Washington 7.
Just imagine if everyone drove a car like the Honda Civic DX, there'd be more room on the freeways. There'd be more space to park. And we'd probably all use less gas. The Honda Civic DX, it could make life a lot simpler.
Honda, we make it simple.
I'll tell you, I was a born soccer player. Did everything with my feet. Took out the rubbish with my feet, made the bed with my feet, drove my mum crazy. But I finally found something I enjoy doing with my hands, drinking light beer from Miller. Light has a third less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling. But what really makes me happy is the taste. It's terrific. Now, my mum should be happy too. Look, Mum, no feet.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey guys, come on, Joe Theismann's watching us.
Okay, hike on 3, break.
Programs like this do more than teach youngsters how to play games. They nourish the minds and the hearts of the kids, and they teach them what caring for each other really means. Hi, I'm Joe Thiesmenn of the Washington Redskins, and this is my daughter, Amy. We're here with the youngsters from the Kingman Boys and Girls Club here in Washington. United Way supports kids like these all over America because they believe, as I do, that our children are the most important part of our lives. A couple of years ago, we nearly lost Amy because of a heart condition. I was fortunate. We had the finest doctors and the best surgeons. But I came to realize that there are millions of children in our country who aren't so lucky. They live in the terrible grip of poverty. That's why I do everything I can to help young people. United Way works here, and thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
The preceding message was furnished as a public service by the National Football League.
We're at the Oakland Coliseum. Vin Scully along with George Allen. Oakland leading Washington 10-7. A brilliant day. Temperatures started at 75 degrees when the ball game first kicked off. And now as we await the start of the second half, you remember Washington had won the toss and received. So now Oakland will have a chance to get their hands on the ball. And once again, it'll be interesting to see about Dan Pastorini, George.
Yes, Ben, and you know the Redskins have made but 28 yards rushing the first half. Thiesmenn has contributed 12 of the 28 yards on the scramble for a first down. Neither team is going to run the ball that much. We talked about that earlier. It's going to come down to pass rush, pass defense, pass coverage, that type of thing. I believe that Oakland might have a tendency to let down a little bit since they've dominated the game and are only ahead by 3 points. Now, here's where leadership, discipline, organization takes over.
Well, Mark Mosley will tee it up at the 35-yard line, and deep for the Oakland Raiders, they will have Ira Matthews and Arthur Whittington standing back on their own 5-yard line. So Mosley kicks it very high. He'll get pretty good coverage. Whittington fumbles it on the 8, but then recovers. And some white shirts are there to bring him down at about the 20-yard line. So Arthur Whittington makes a short return, and Dan Pastorini takes over. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 20. Pastorini's numbers: 1 touchdown to Dave Casper, 2 interceptions to Joe Lavender and Tony Peters.
We always felt then the first series on offense is vital in the second half. What are you going to do the first series on offense?
Well, he has Cliff Branch going wide left and Bob Chandler wide right. Casper, the tight end, goes on the right side. Play action fake to Van Egan. King released. Look at all the time he has. Now throwing, and he's got Cliff Branch at the 37-yard line. Tony Peters along with Pete Wysocki defending.
But there's a flag on the play. He had 10 seconds to throw the football. 10 seconds to throw the football. Look at the protection he has. A good fake to Van Egan, weak side. Now he scrambles. You can see the time he had because Branch had enough time to run way across the field.
By the way, there wasn't a flag on the play. It's a yellow piece of cardboard that suddenly flew onto the field. Pastorini throwing to the left side to Cliff Branch, and they box him in and drive him out at about the 44-yard line. So no flag on that last play, and it was 1st and 10 on the 38.
Now here's what Pastorini likes to do. Lavender is smartly playing off the line of scrimmage, giving Branch some room. He runs a short out, picks up 5, 6, 7 yards.
Oh, it is 2nd and 3. The ball on the Oakland 45-yard line. Remember, they started on the 20. This time a slot right with Branch inside Chandler, and Casper is on the left side. And it's Kenny King, and they stack him up right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be about 3rd and 3 from the 45. Kenny King unable to move.
We talked about the Redskins only making 28 yards rushing. Oakland only rushed for 71 the first half. So neither team has done much offensively, running the football.
3rd and 3 on the Oakland 45-yard line. Cliff Branch comes left, Chandler right again.
91, 20, 0.
Pastorini to Branch. It hit him right in the chest, and as if there was a spring on it, it bounced out.
That was. This is exactly what you want as a quarterback and a receiver. He's open for the first down. Watch his head. See Lavender playing off him. He's got to play off him. Watch his head. He didn't look the ball in at all. Hit him in the pads. Hit him in the bottom of the pads and bounced off. This sun is going to bother the receivers a little bit.
So here is Ray Guy. He once hit the TV screen in the New Orleans Superdome in the '77 Pro Bowl. That's almost kicking it out of sight to do that. Guy this time hits somewhat of a wobbly kick, and a fair catch is called by Mike Nelms at the 24-yard line. That's where Washington will put it in play. And from that side of the field, Nelms is looking right up into a brilliant sun.
The sun is tough today.
American cars guzzle gas. American cars are all style and no substance. American cars don't last. To all that, American Motors says nuts. This American Motors Concorde and this Spirit are built to be more than just good looking. They're tough. Tougher than ever before. The only American cars with galvanized steel and 100% of the exterior body panels. That's right, 100%. And Concorde and Spirit are more fuel efficient than ever before. This Concorde actually gives you better mileage than Chevy Citation. Only the tough Americans give you Z-Bard factory rust protection and a full 5-year no rust-through warranty.
Tough can be beautiful.
Plus the exclusive American Motors Buyer Protection Plan, still with the best economy car warranty coverage in the industry. Concorde and Spirit, for good-looking high-mileage cars, don't sell the tough Americans short. Concorde and Spirit, built to last, from American Motors.
He came to serve his country and went on trial for murder. Brad Davis in an all-star cast based on a true story, A Rumor of War, a special movie presentation Wednesday.
With 13 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Washington has the ball first and 10 on its own 24. Oakland leading 10-7. McDaniel goes wide left and Ricky Thompson in a slot. They give it to Klatt, and Klatt barrels out to about the 29 or 30-yard line.
Now, Ben, this first series on offense for the Redskins, the first series on offense, the second half, I know I'm repeating myself, is so vital. It's more important when you're behind. You got to make something happen. You got to move the ball down the field, put some points on the board. You can't just sit back and wait for a break.
2nd and 4 on the Washington 30-yard line. Art Monk goes right. Wilbur Jackson shakes loose and goes left with Ricky Thompson. So Klatt stays in to block, and they're putting some heat on Thiesmenn again. Joe finally unloads, and he's got Wilbur Jackson. And Wilbur Jackson at the 45-yard line of Oakland before Mike Davis can bring him down.
The Raiders made the same mistake. You don't jump and get off your feet with a quarterback like Thiesmenn. See that? Barnes jumped, and Joe just played touch football with him and went right around him. Once the quarterback gets out of the pocket, it's very difficult for the defense. Now watch this. Watch the defender jump. Joe just did a complete pivot, made a big play out of it.
That was the linebacker from the right side, Jeff Barnes, who did the jumping. Ricky Klatt this time is hit by Kinlaw and Browning, and there is a flag definitely on the play. So on a 2nd and 4 from the Washington 30, Thiesmenn scrambles and then goes to Wilbur Jackson, and that brings it down to the 45 of Oakland, and we'll see about the penalty, which is going to be marched off against the Raiders.
Well, the Redskins are making something happen.
Grabbing the face mask, number 51, defense, first down.
So Bob Nelson, who came in and grabbed the face mask. Automatic first down, and the ball now is on the 39-yard line of Oakland. The Raiders leading 10-7. There is Browning, and Browning got the face mask, so not Bob Nelson as Jerry Markbright called it. Play action fake. There's Hendrick. The Stork is on the loose. Thiesmenn throws, but it is out of bounds. Caught by McDaniel, but he left the premises before handling it.
You see the Stork is right in there on the dog. A good call, but Joe's quickness and mobility outmaneuvers him.
You know, Hendricks holds a lot of records. For instance, he has blocked 19 punts, field goals, and point afters. That's an NFL record, and he's tied with Freddie Dreyer for 3 safeties. Ted Hendricks, 12 years out of the University of Miami. And Thiesmann's been going steady with him all day. 2nd and 10 on the Oakland 39. In motion is Ricky Thompson. Here's Ricky Klatt. And Klatt backs away across the 35, and among others, Ted Hendricks.
Well,
you like Klatt?
I like him. I like him from what I said earlier, Ben. He's quick. He gets to the line in a hurry. You know, when you dog a quarterback like Joe or Roger Staubach, you have to dog him under control. If you come in there blind without being under control, he'll make you miss every time.
Ricky Klatt, whom they just showed, had 77 yards against the Giants. That's the most rushing by a rookie since Mike Thomas. So he's a comer. Thiesmenn has his man, and it's Walker. And Walker, the tight end, is knocked out of bounds at the 30. You know what's interesting about that play? If you had studied the last two Washington games, you would find that Thiesmenn had completed only 2 passes to his tight end. And apparently, they don't think he'll pass to Walker, and he's doing just that.
He likes Harmon, and Harmon's the type of guy that is a good receiver, runs good routes. Joe is accurate. Joe's rifling that ball in there like a catcher to second base.
Well, it's 4th and 1 from the 30-yard line, and Mosley is going to try and tie it up. The spot by Thiesmenn on the 38-yard line, and the kick off the baseball infield is no good. And did that make it tougher, George, kicking off dirt?
It is. When you plant your foot to kick, if you're kicking off the infield, you don't get good traction. There's a tendency for the foot to slip.
You know, I happen to tell my Allstate agent about how everything I have 2 of. Like 2 cars, he asked? Maybe Allstate's 2-car discount can save you money on insurance. I compared. Allstate saves me more. I can use the money.
Noah, dinner.
One wife.
Compare. Allstate's multi-car discount may save you more money. You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
You know, it's amazing how similar we are. We have the same last name. And we both played baseball for the same team. We even drank the same beer, light beer from Miller. And we drink it for the same reason. Light has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. And it's less filling. But we drink it because it tastes so great. Now, I know we're incredibly alike, but don't be confused. We are not identical twins. I'm at least 2 inches taller than he is.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
But here's Mosley's field goal attempt that was missed. He's kicking off of the infield. He did not slip. Watch his feet. They're planted solid. He just outright missed it. Normally he makes those. I think he's the best kicker in football.
So he missed a 48-yard field goal attempt. The line of scrimmage was the 30, and that's where the Raiders put it in play, 1st and 10. Van Egan and Kenny King are the runners, and it'll be King, double 3s, trying to get outside, and he's finally pushed out by Joe Lavender as he got around Dusek and Dave Butts.
If they give him a little blocking, he's going to make some long gainers. He's got the speed and he's got the quickness to run sweeps, to circle the ends.
Keep it going, Earl. So 2nd and 3 as he picked up 7 on that carry to the Oakland 37-yard line. And you can see that he's doing pretty well, almost 5 yards a carry. 2nd and 3. Chandler right and Branch left. Kenny King again, still on his feet, fighting all by himself for the 1st down as he moves it out shy of the 45-yard line, a one-man effort.
You know, Ben, the last 2 series, Kenny Houston hasn't been in there. Peters, number 23, has taken his place. For Kenny Houston to be out of the lineup, he must have an injury or a bump or bruise because it's tough to get him out of that lineup. He's a real pro.
1st and 10 on the Oakland 44. Chandler comes in now on a wingback spot with Branch wide left. Mark Van Egan. He gets you about the 47. Malott hit him first, and then Smith. So Van Egan, the greatest rusher in Oakland history, who passes Clem Daniels today. For the 4th straight year, he's been the number 1 ball carrier. In fact, he's had 3 1,000-yard years. Mark Van Egan out of Colgate.
Yeah, good man, good steady football player. Pastorini has the Redskin defense ready if he wants to go deep.
2nd and 6 on the Raider 48. And here's Arthur Whittington hit from behind by Dave Butts and then Carl Lorch. And that's too much beef for Whittington, who weighs 180. Lorch weighs 258 and Butts 285. He just totally weighed down. So a third down play, 3rd and 6 for the Raiders. This drive started on the Oakland 30-yard line.
Jensen just came in for the Raiders.
That's Derek Jensen, and he's in the backfield along with Whittington. Brandt is in a slot left inside Chandler. Pastorini has his man, and it's his tight end who is smothered up. Nelms along with Peters finally dropping Dave Casper, but they picked up the first down.
Well, the Redskins are giving them the 8-10 yard stop patterns. Watch this time how Pastorini throws the ball. He throws it with the nose down. There's no way he's going to throw that ball too high. See, the nose is down, right on the numbers. Good execution. First down.
1st and 10 on the Washington 42-yard line. It's still Derek Jensen and Arthur Whittington behind Pastorini. Pastorini has it broken up. It was intended for Whittington, and Pete Wysocki was right there to snare it and knock it down.
Pete was right with him. The ball was thrown just a little behind him. Here it is, first down pass. Again, he's got the time to throw. Now watch. The ball was thrown as much to Wysocki as it was the receiver.
There's Brandt seeming to be wide open, but of course Pastorini had his eyes riveted on the intended receiver, so it's 2nd and 10 on the Washington 42. Whittington going on the right side, and it's wide open. And Whittington is gone. A 42-yard touchdown that brings Al Davis to his feet in the press box. Arthur Whittington, 3 years out of SMU, goes 42, and that makes it 16-7 Oakland.
Well, the Redskins were playing pass defense. It was 2nd down and 10. They're expecting a pass. They ran a sweep. It's the same thing that the 49ers did last week for a big play. Everybody's backpedaling, retreating, playing pass. You got to play what you see first. Don't guess.
So Chris Barr will try to make it 17-7 Oakland with 7:08 left in the 3rd. And the kick is good. So once again, the Raiders are enjoying a 10-point advantage. Oakland 17 and Washington 7, 7:08 in the 3rd.
Well, set for a comfortable evening?
I hope so.
Then you should be wearing comfortable slacks, like Hager Magic Stretch.
All right.
It's the Hager Expand-O-Matic waistband and special stretch woven fabric of today's Daycron.
Terrific.
They won't squeeze your budget either. In Hager Magic Stretch, you'll feel as good as you look.
What more could a man ask for?
Well...
Nice of you to pop in, my dear.
Next Saturday, the U.S. goes wheel to wheel with the world's best in the World Team Speedway Championships from Poland. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Well, Peters, 23, is lined up over the tight end. He's going to cover him man for man. He's thinking pass overrun. Nobody gets across. They still haven't gotten across. Good block by Chandler, 85. Whittington waltzes in. Nobody touches him.
Lamar Parrish tried to come over him when Chandler blocked on Lamar Parrish. That was it. So Arthur Whittington goes 42. It is 17-7 Oakland. And here's the kickoff up into the sun. And it's Jackson finally taking it from Hammond. And Wilbur Jackson steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And that's where Washington will put it in play.
Jensen made a good block on that play, Vin. Number 31 made a good block. Peters was playing pass, overrun all the way. He never got across. Once you circle that stump man or that Sam man, the strong side guy, you got the yardage.
Well, we'll see about Thiesmenn now. He was down 10-0 and drove for a touchdown. His own 12-yard run helped. There are the numbers, capped by the 42-yard run by Arthur Whittington. And now let's see about the resiliency of Washington. 1st and 10 from the 30. Thiesmenn going to the left side, no good. The intended receiver, Ricky Thompson, claiming he had been knocked down by Mike Davis. So Washington is hot on the call, and they're not going to win it. And Thiesmenn is furious. See if you can see Mike Davis and Ricky Thompson. There they go, down on the screen right there.
There's contact there, but the official ruled that he was just playing the ball, I'm sure, not playing a man.
So it is 2nd and 10 on the Washington 30-yard line. 6:56 in the third quarter. Oakland has scored on a 42-yard run by Arthur Whittington and a pass to the tight end Dave Casper. Washington scored on a pass to a tight end Rick Walker. Thiesmenn throwing to Klatt, and Ricky goes down at the 35, and it was Bob Nelson who had him by the shirt. Otherwise, he would have gone for at least another 10.
Well, this is what Joe does well. Hits the short man, the check down, delayed receiver. The big thing the Raiders defense has to be alert is to keep him in the cup, keep him in the pocket. That's more important than rushing him.
So it is 3rd and 5 on the 35-yard line. McDaniel in a slot left inside Monk. Thiesmenn going too low, and it's short hopped at the last minute by Buddy Hardiman. So that was 3rd and 5, and Thiesmenn and the Redskins will have to give up the football as Mike Connell comes in to punt to Oakland.
They dogged him and got the hands up, so he had to throw the ball low.
Ira Matthews going deep again to handle a punt from Mike Connell. 17-7 in favor of Oakland. 6 minutes and 6 seconds left in the third quarter. Harmon is back to pick up strays in the blocking. And Lester Hayes almost got through. A big punt. Matthews taking it on the 18. And Dallas Hickman hit him and dropped him in his track.
Dallas Hickman's the same type of athlete that the Stork is. Tall, lanky, very physical, good speed.
Hickman is 6'6", 245, and he's the captain of the special teams, and you get an idea why. There's a flag on the play on that.
And he's from Berkeley, California. At least he went to the University of California at Berkeley.
So the adrenaline has to pump a little more for him up here. This will be against Oakland on that return of the kickoff. And it'll hurt. They'll spot it on the Raider 12.
Personal foul, clipping, number 51 on the run back. First down.
So the clip against Bob Nelson. We can take a look at it to see the clip. Here comes Ira Matthews.
There he is. Yeah.
And evidently it's after the fact.
Yeah.
If you had driven along this street just a few years ago, the cars would have been very different. But now, more and more people are driving cars like the Honda Accord four-door sedan, with room inside for 4 adults and their possessions. It's a true sedan in every sense. In fact, the Accord four-door is one of the most successful front-wheel drive sedans in America. Simple proof that society has outgrown the big sedan.
Honda, we make it simple.
The Canon NP80 puts you in touch with the age of micronics, an ingenious combination of microcomputer, optics, and electronics expertise. Extremely fast and reliable, the Canon NP80 makes 32 letter-sized copies a minute on plain paper, up to 11 by 17, with exceptional copy quality.
Look into the NP80 at your Canon dealer and get in touch with the age of micronics.
Monday, Lou Grant, the Emmy Award-winning series premieres with an all-new episode. Be sure and watch Ed Asner as Lou Grant, premiering Monday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
In the left-hand corner, you can see Bob Nelson's clip on the run back by Ira Matthews. And so because of that clip, Oakland will put it in play, 1st and 10 from the 12. He never had a shot at a block, did he, George?
It was really bad judgment. If you're in doubt, don't throw the block. That's the rule. If you're in doubt that you might clip, don't throw the block. It's too costly. 15 yards.
1st and 10 from the Oakland 12-yard line. Oakland leading in the ball game and dominating play, 17-7.
69, 46, 9.
Kenny King going right inside a block of Van Egan. Carl Lorch has him by the ankles, and it was Lorch who dropped him.
Well, Pastorini's in a good position strategy-wise. They're in a brown set, running the ball strong side. King cuts back in, sees daylight, reads his blocks pretty well. He can throw the ball or he can run the ball right now. So that puts the Redskins truly on defense. They got to stop the run now, first over the pass.
2nd and 3 on the 19-yard line. Mark Van Egan for daylight, and he has enough for a first down. He had to get to the 22, and it would appear he's made to the 23 at least.
I like
1st and 10.
Then I like the way Mark Van Egan carries the ball. 2 hands. Each end of the ball is covered by the palm of his hands. You aren't going to fumble that way.
Oh, they'll spot it at the 24. 1st and 10 for Oakland. 4:56 left in the third quarter, with Oakland leading Washington 17-7. Branch is left, Chandler right, and it's Van Egan and Whittington now. Remember, Arthur went 42 for a touchdown just a couple of minutes ago. Pastorini with time, and it's intercepted. Tony Peters. Peters to the 20, to the 10, and down inside the 5-yard line. Tony Peters, his second interception of the day, and the third against Pastorini.
Well, this is bad judgment here. Pastorini going back. Again, he has the time. He was hit just as he threw, but there isn't a receiver close to Peters. He threw the ball directly to Peters. This puts the Redskins, if they can score, back in the ball game.
It'll put him 1st and goal on the Oakland 4-yard line with timeout on the field as Peters is shaken up. Oakland 17, Washington 7.
You take 1,000 hearts up here with you. Make them skip a beat. Then take them back down to Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer.
When it's time to relax,
Miller High Life.
one beer stands clear. If you got the time, we've got a beer.
Just imagine, if everyone drove a car like the Honda Civic DX, there'd be more room on the freeways. There'd be more space to park. And we'd probably all use less gas. The Honda Civic DX, it could make life a lot simpler.
Honda, we make it simple.
Tony Peters had made 2 big interceptions today, and he's been shaken up on the second one, but he's well enough to have some handshakes with his teammates. Peters was all alone. There wasn't a black shirt within 15 yards of him.
I thought maybe that he was hit as he threw, but now watch. He sets up, and he gets rid of the ball before he's hit, so the ball still has some zip on it. Looks like he was trying to throw it to Branch.
All right, 1st and goal on the Oakland 4. Thiesmenn on a roll. Still going. Thiesmenn goes out of bounds for a touchdown.
That play, Ben, is called 18 roll I. 18 roll I. It's a design rollout. It's pass first and run second. There's nobody forcing, good blocking. He did the right thing. Run it in.
Watch him going in. He just did cut the corner as he was going out of bounds. In fact, the Oakland defenders argued that he had stepped OB before he hit the end zone, but he had broken the plane of the goal. So here is Mark Mosley now, trying to make it 17-14. Thiesmenn the holder. The kick is good. And the stubborn Redskins, who are being thoroughly outplayed, are still only 3 points behind the Raiders, thanks to 3 big interceptions.
Well, we've said this, that don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself. The first rule of winning is eliminate all the things that are going to cause you to lose. Now, Oakland, to date, is beating themselves. They're still ahead. But it's a new ball game now. Here it is. It's called 18 roll eye. Thiesmenn thinks pass first and run second. Nobody forced. He did the smart thing and ran it in.
He hit the marker going out, and all of those black shirts were going to argue, but to no avail. So it is 17-14 Oakland. Mark Mosley ready to kick off. And the Oakland Raiders, who have won 20 of their last 21 against NFC teams. They've won 25 of 30 against NFC teams. For the first time in the Oakland's glorious history, they lost an overtime game last week.
This is where you get your defense together and say, hey, we're back in here. We got to take that ball away. We can rally and pull this out. When they take the field, they got to be steamed up to no more than 3 plays. 3 plays and a punt.
There is Joe Thiesmenn behind backup quarterback Mike Kruchek. Meanwhile, on the field, Mark Mosley signals he's ready. Mosley again hanging the kickoff, and it'll be Arthur Whittington on the 9. To the 15, to the 20, still on his feet, and down he goes about the 25-yard line. In fact, he might have moved it out even more to the 30.
Short, high kick. Good height, 4.2, but not long enough.
And they are booing as Dan Pastorini goes back out onto the field. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 30.
Here's where mental toughness comes in. You can't let the fans bother you. You're a pro. You have to do your job.
1st and 10. Pastorini has King and Van Egan behind him. Chandler goes right. Branch left. It'll be Kenny King. And King is gang tackled as he got to about the 33. Coy Bacon almost had him behind the line of scrimmage, but he was too quick for Bacon.
Art Shell's been doing a good job on Coy Bacon. Ben, I think what might work for the Raiders right in here, when your quarterback is having an off day like this, you're struggling to win, is the short passing game. A screen pass could be a pretty good call in here. You got good rushers like Bacon and Brooks, Lorch coming in after you.
Well, we'll see now Derek Jensen coming in the backfield, so he's in there with Kenny King. 2nd and 7 from the 33. King trying to go outside and is dropped by Kenny Houston.
Wow.
So Houston, who had been out when Tony Peters made the reception, Peters is hurt, so Kenny's back in.
That's the same play that they scored on before. Same situation, 2nd down and long. You don't fool a good defense twice.
So they lose 3, and it is 3rd and 10 from the 30-yard line. 3:45 left to go in the 3rd, and it is 17-14 in favor of Oakland, but they're unhappy. They want number 16, Jim Plunkett. But they've got Dan Pastorini, number 7. He has Jensen and Whittington behind him. Branch and Chandler slot left, and Chandler in motion. And Pastorini going to Casper. No good. The tight end going with the strong safety, Kenny Houston. Boy, there's a great picture.
Yeah.
2 all-pros going downfield on a bomb.
Casper and Houston. And Pastorini had great protection. Look at this protection. This is what you want. See that? They still aren't rushing. Now, as soon as he released the ball, you could tell he overthrew him. Actually, 87, Casper's open. A good pass, Ben. He's got a completion there.
And Pastorini has heard that all day about a receiver open and overshooting him. So Ray Guy will try to bail out the Raiders now. Guy kicking from the 20-yard line. Fighting the sun is Mike Nelms. Makes the catch at the 30 to the 40-yard line. And fighting his way to the 45. Boy, that sun is brutal right now.
You know what? It almost looked like he was signaling for a fair catch, but he was shading his eyes from the sun.
Right. So 1st and 10 for Washington, and they get some good field position. They haven't had that often today. Oh, yes, they had it on interceptions, but otherwise they haven't. So they take over 1st and 10 on their own 44. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Oakland leading by 3. Thiesmenn sends McDaniel left, Thompson right, and he gives to Harmon. And Harmon gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it, maybe a yard. Reggie Kinlaw bringing him down with help from Dave Browning.
Yeah, Dave Pear, number 74, is hurt today and can't play, and Reggie Kinlaw is doing a good job in there. Pear gives him a little more quickness, and he's a little bit better in rushing the passer, I think.
Dan Pastorini visiting with head coach Tom Flores, trying to find the solution of why he has thrown 3 big interceptions. Meanwhile, Joe Thiesmenn, happy with the developments, trying to get a big drive going. 2nd and 9 from the 45. Harmon and Jackson behind Thiesmenn. And it's going to be a little screen to Jackson. He gets a block and gets out to about the 48-yard line. The only man to block for him was Ron Saul, and a tackle made by Bob Nelson with Browning.
Well, that was a good call, Vin. It's a safe call. It cuts down the rush. The Raiders been dogging. It's a good counter for the dog. Now here's a big play for Joe.
3rd and 5. The ball on the Washington 49-yard line.
Usually in this area, he likes to go to the backs.
Well, he has Hardiman and Harmon. McDaniel goes right and Monk left. Walker, the tight end, on the right side. Under pressure, throwing for Walker, and the tight end can't hold it.
He kept the backs end to block to give him the protection.
Walker, who had scored a touchdown earlier, was fighting Otis McKinney for the ball, and McKinney won the battle. So it's 4th and 5, and the Redskins will have to kick. Mike Connell to Ira Matthews.
That was a well-thrown football.
Matthews standing on his own 11. Connell will be kicking from the Washington 38. Angling for the sideline. And Matthews will take it and go to the right, but they bury him at about the 10-yard line.
Well, in order to get a punt return, you got to slow down those wideouts that are coming down the field untouched. The Redskins have excellent coverage. Matthews didn't have a chance.
Of course, for many years, Washington had Mike Bragg, one of the better punters around, after 12 years, but now it's Connell. What happened to Bragg?
I really don't know. I think Mike Bragg is still one of the better punters in football. He's excellent at kicking out of bounds. Why he isn't there, just a matter of someone's judgment.
So they go with Connell, who is kicking very well today, and Oakland puts it in play 1st and 10 from the 10. Branch goes right. Casper, the tight end, on the left side. Chester is the tight end on the right side. Whittington and Van Egan, and they go to Van Egan. Van Egan gets it out to the 14. So it should be 2nd and 6.
Well, you know, there's a lot of pressure on Pastorini. They're fighting now. The Redskins have the momentum. They're fighting to keep this 3-point lead. He's thinking down here he might like to throw the ball. He's thinking, hey, should I run the ball or should I throw the football? He's bound to be a little bit tense in here.
2nd and 6 from the 14. Van Egan and Whittington, and here comes Whittington. Dropped right at the line of scrimmage by Tony Peters, who came up and came across to get him.
Now the Redskins can come in with a nickel. It's a passing situation.
So Tony Peters, who has made 2 big interceptions, along with one by Joe Lavender, now makes a big tackle, and it's 3rd and 7 from the 13.
85 just came in. Chandler, sure hands, a disciplined receiver. A good acquisition for this ball club.
So we'll see if Pastorini will go in that direction. Chandler has not had a ball yet today. 3rd and 7. And he completes it to Casper, who took it away from Tony Peters and got the first down.
Well, if he doesn't catch it, it's almost interference. He's all over him.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter with the score, Oakland 17, Washington 14. We pause for a word from your local station.
It's breathtaking, it's dazzling, it's unbelievable. It's special effects The Empire Strikes Back with host Mark Hamill, Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Here's the 3rd and 7 situation. Here's 3rd and 7. Pastorini to Casper. Good protection again. Casper's concentration. Peters is all over him. Picks up the first down. What a big play that is, Ben.
It sure is for Casper. You can see 3 receptions, one of them for a touchdown today. 17-14 Oakland at the start of the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 24. Chester, the tight end, goes to the right side. Branch is left and Chandler right. The running backs are Whittington and Van Egan. And it's Van Egan carrying the club almost out to the 30-yard line. 45,163 here today. A little over 2,000 no-shows. And they are enjoying balmy weather in Oakland. They tell us the weather up here for about a month has not been too good, but boy, it has come up bright and shiny. It was 75 at kickoff. It is 2nd and 4 for Oakland. The ball on the Raider 30-yard line. Play action fake, and Pastorini's going to dump it off, and he led Whittington too much. However, Brad Dusick had read the play. Even had Whittington caught the ball, I think Dusick would have swallowed him up.
Now this is a good call. 2nd down. Play action. Fakes to the tailback. Looks downfield. Dusick's right there, 59. Also 27, Kenny Houston. But he threw the ball badly.
You might have heard the crowd cheering a little bit. One reason they were cheering is that Jim Plunkett got up off the bench and began to throw the football. 3rd and 4 on the 30. So Pastorini on a 3rd and 4 goes to Bradshaw at the 42-yard line for the first down. Morris Bradshaw, 7 years out of Ohio State, picks up the first down.
What he did was very smart. He went one-on-one. Jarris White, 45, was covering 81. Morris Bradshaw. Pastorini read him and threw a strike. Well, he threw that ball like nothing had happened, like he'd been throwing a no-hitter.
The 1st and 10 on the Oakland 42. Chandler and Branch go slot left. Chester, the tight end, on the right side. Van Egan in motion. And it'll be Kenny King. He has Henry Lawrence blocking, and he got to the 45-yard line. Henry Lawrence out of Florida A&M, who's been a guard and a tight end, number 70, and he was leading the pack for Kenny King. He's 6'4" and 270, doing a lot of work up front.
Well, we've talked about that. They have a big, strong offensive line. They've got veterans like Upshaw, who's still a fine guard, and they've sprinkled it in with some young talent. That offensive line should be strong for years.
2nd and 7, the ball on the 45-yard line of Oakland. Pastorini to Kenny King, and King's got daylight to the 35, 30, and wrestled out of bounds. Lamar Parrish finally knocked him out of bounds, and they're going to spot the ball at the 25-yard line of Washington.
Well, if the Raiders win this ball game, it's because of their running game more than anything else. Again, they run a strong side sweep. Good blocking. Now watch 85. Chandler blocking Parrish, giving him another 10, 15 yards. Chandler's one of the few receivers that'll still block.
So Al Davis, obscured for the moment at least, has to feel a little bit better on that 30-yard scamper by King. First and 10 on the Washington 25. Whittington going around, stumbled and fell down. Van Egan had a big job. He was trying to block Coy Bacon and Pete Wysocki, and then Whittington tripped and went down. But keep your eye on Van Egan, number 30. He's got to take on two men, Bacon, and Bacon drilled him, Wysocki, and meanwhile Whittington fell down.
Wysocki, Pete had good outside position. There were no way they were going to circle Pete on that.
Second and 12 on the 27. Oakland driving with Chandler and Branch in a slot right. Casper back in, the tight end on the left side. All alone is Whittington, and Whittington upended at the 20 and goes down at about the 16. Brad Dusak knocked him down. Meanwhile, Pastorini was flattened, but he got his pass off.
This is what we call a delivery sack. Just as he's hit, he's throwing. The wide people clear out, underneath pattern. Good execution.
The man who lowered the boom was Paul Smith, a 13-year veteran out of New Mexico. He's 255 pounds, and Pastorini would be the first to attest to that fact. Watch this. Boom.
Good lick in there, right to the choppers.
So third and 2 on the 17. Quick handoff to Van Egan, and he's to the 10-yard line. Monty Coleman, number 51, finally bringing him down.
Well, the Raiders' running game today has been very, very successful. Here's third and 2. Look at the big hole. They took the middle linebacker out of there. Egan reads his blocking real well. Picks up more yardage than the play is designed for.
The ball is inside the 10-yard line, so it's a first and goal from inside the 10. Whittington and Van Egan, Branch and Chandler go left. Casper is on the right side. They try Van Egan. He doesn't find a hole, so he goes off right tackle and gets down to about the 7.
This right in this area, Vin, is where it's real difficult for the defense to stop a play-action pass, a pass where you fake a run. They're running the ball very well, and then your tight end slips out, runs across the field, a crossing pattern, and the Raiders do that very well.
So second and goal. The ball is about 6.5 yards away from the end zone. Kenny King, Mark Van Egan, the running back. Kenny King. Down to about the 5, Paul Smith, who earlier made the lick on Pastorini, this time able to make the tackle. Kenny King, a workhorse in the Oakland attack. His numbers so far, King has rushed 20 times for 111 yards. Van Egan 10 times for only 35 yards. Whittington 7 times for 49 yards. So actually Whittington and King are doing the bulk of the running, and Van Egan is doing a lot of blocking. Third and 5, third and goal from the 5. Pastorini looking right in the end zone. Touchdown, and a flag on the play. Bob Chandler making his first catch of the day, but let's wait on the call. The way the players are reacting, it was against Washington. Yep, offside.
Declined.
Offside, Washington declined.
Well, he did the right thing. He went to the one-on-one situation. Chandler on the corner, lays the ball up high. Chandler has good hands, plays the ball at the highest point.
That's the first ball they've thrown to Chandler, and it goes for a touchdown. 23-14, and the kick will make it 24-14. So for the third time today, the Oakland Raiders lead Washington by 10. Only now there's only 9:45 left in the game.
At about $4.50 a quart, this is one of the most expensive motor oils in the world. Or is it? If you drive 25,000 miles a year, the money you save on gas, oil changes, and oil filters alone can add up to $83. Up to $83 by switching from conventional 10W40 motor oil to synthetic Mobil 1. Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas and more.
John Burns joined the Army in March and kept us waiting until October. Kathy Wolf joined the Army in May and kept us waiting all summer. If you're a high school graduate or about to be, you can join the Army now and take up to 12 months to report for duty. That way, if you qualify, we can guarantee you the skill training that makes you happiest. And we think a happy soldier is worth waiting for. This is the Army, a chance to serve your country as you serve yourself. Call this number toll-free.
Next Saturday, go for a spin with the nation's best at the United States Roller Skating Championships. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Here's Pastorini, 3rd and 5. He's looking at Chandler all the way. He sees he has a one-on-one situation. That's what you want. Puts the ball up high. Chandler takes it away from Parrish. Touchdown.
So Pastorini weathering the slings and arrows of 3 interceptions and leading 24-14 as Ray Guy will kick off. 9:45 left in the game. And this time Bobby Hammond in the end zone, but because of the muff, he can't bring it out. And Washington will put it in play. 1st and 10 from their own 20. You know, there were a couple of plays, certainly that 3rd and 7 pass to Dave Casper that kept the drive alive.
That was a big one, Ben. I think just what you said, Pastorini has shown the mental toughness necessary to overcome this. This is much more difficult when you're playing at home. If you're playing in Kansas City and having a bad game, nobody's booing you.
And especially when you're coming in on the heels of a favorite, Kenny Stabler.
Exactly.
1st and 10 on the 20 for Washington. Out of the eye this time. They haven't run that very much today. And here goes Wilbur Jackson. Jackson taking a lot of heat as he picked up the first down. Well, he didn't get the first down. He was a little shy of it. Got out to about the 28-yard line. So Wilbur Jackson picks up a big chunk. It'll be 2nd and 2 on the 28. Two things are tough this time of year. Playing on a baseball infield, it's really tough to spot the ball. And it's tough for Purchase, tough for the men to run.
Yes, it is.
2nd and 2. Ricky Klatt. Nelson had him, and down he goes.
Now Joe's going to have to put the ball up in the air and get a couple of quick scores here.
A couple of yards for Klatt to get that first down. It was 2nd and 2, and he moves it out to the 32. Thiesmenn with 8.5 minutes at his disposal, and he's down by 10. Jack Pardee 3 times has trailed by 10. Twice they've cut it to 3, but like the elusive carrot chased by the rabbit, they just can't quite catch up.
271. 271.
Thiesmenn, the pass intended for McDaniel. Lester Hayes is going to be guilty of pass interference.
And it's a good thing Lester Hayes did that, because the Raiders were dogging, blitzing.
Pass interference, number
Joe,
37, defense.
Joe
First
read
down.
it, had the right call. He's coming open. Lester Hayes knocked him off. Smart football.
Lester Hayes, who might be the best athlete on the Raiders squad, and of course lost that overtime pass by Dan Fouts in the Sun last week to John Jefferson that gave San Diego the overtime win. They go to Jackson. Jeff Williams trying to block on Hendricks. He moved Hendricks, but the other Raiders came up to make the stop at about the 47.
You know, that's a little bit of a gamble when you're ahead 24-14 to win with an all-out blitz. You can give the opposition a big play when they don't earn it that much. You know what I mean, man?
Indeed.
Make them earn anything. Don't put something up there that they shouldn't get.
2nd and 7 on the Washington 48-yard line. 7.5 minutes left for Thiesmenn, and he's down by 10. And he's going to get some heat. He got away from Matuzak. Throws it to Klatt to the 35. Klatt to the 30. Stumbled to the 26-yard line. So Thiesmenn to Ricky Klatt in what appeared to be a busted play.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened. The Raiders faked the dog. Joe thought they were going to dog. Now they just come in with a normal rush. No containment. Once a guy like Thiesmenn scrambles, he's doubly dangerous. Takes an ordinary play and makes it into a long gainer.
26 yards on that play. Watch Thiesmenn scrambling to buy a little time. That's Browning. Then just missing him is Matuzak. Throwing on the run, he hit Klatt. 1st and 10 on the Oakland 25. Play action fake to Jackson. More heat. And the pass, I think, hit the helmet of Bob Kuziel. So the flag on the play.
Well, it's a play action pass. Here's the official.
The forward pass accidentally hit the offensive center. Loss of down only. 2nd down.
A yard. Hit Kuziel right in the helmet. Watch number 54 standing up. He's backing up looking for blockers. And now watch the pass.
That's
bong.
Very low. It's not Kuziel's fault.
So 2nd and 10 on the 25. We have 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. You see New England leading Seattle by 3 in the 4th. Thiesmenn off the hands of Thompson, intercepted by Lester Hayes. Hayes to the 20, and down he goes. Ricky Thompson had it go off his hands, and Lester Hayes makes the big interception.
Well, we talked about the high pass that is deflected. Here's an example. The ball's a little high. It's tipped. Lester Hayes comes up with a big play.
I told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance. Well, John, don't put marbles in the penny wrappers. He told us about one of Allstate's affordable life plans. For a 28-year-old, $50,000 of decreasing term insurance for about $11 a month. These pennies could pay for a couple of months. Well, John.
Well, you put your pennies in my marble jar.
Ask about Allstate Life's affordable life plans. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This ranch doesn't run without horses. And the horses don't run without you. But when you've hammered out a day's work, you meet up with Miller Time.
When it's time to relax.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Next Saturday, go trackside to the World Team Speedway Championships and rinkside to the U.S. Roller Skating Championships. 4:30 Eastern next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
A reminder for you good folks on the East Coast, 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety following the football telecast. On the West Coast, 60 Minutes will be seen immediately following the presidential debate. We'll take a look at Lester Hayes and his big interception in a moment, but right now let's go back live. 1st and 10 for Oakland, the ball on the Oakland 20-yard line. So that's the biggest interception of the day, certainly saved the day for Oakland. Mark Van Eegen out across the 25-yard line. Again, let's go back and see Thiesmenn getting some heat. Play action with Wilbur Jackson. Just did get away from Cedric Hartman, and there's the reception off the hands of Ricky Thompson. Finally picked off by Lester Hayes at about the 8-yard line, and Hayes brings it back to the 20. On that catch, there was a tremendous collision, and Monty Jackson was shaken up on it, but apparently okay. 2nd and 5 on the 25. Kenny King out to about the 27.
Now here's where you want to control the ball, keep the clock moving, grind it out, get the first downs. That's what you think offensively. Defensively, the Redskins defense, they have to stop. They can't give them a first down. They got to think in terms of taking the ball away.
3rd and 2 on the Oakland 28-yard line. So Pastorini, who's been able to move his team, but he has thrown 3 critical interceptions. Finally, he and the Raiders are helped by an interception. 3rd and 2 from the 28. Kenny King. And he is out across the 30. And I'll tell you what we ought to do. We should show that play again and look at Henry Lawrence putting a block on the strong safety Kenny Houston, because that's what made the play. They're going to see number 70 pull, and he's going to level number 27. There goes behind the pack. That's the feed of Kenny Houston. A great block by Henry Lawrence. And King will get the headline.
They've had a lot of success running the left side of that Redskin defense today.
Here's another look. Watch 27 go up, and there's the block. Almost a clip as he turned. So it's 1st and 10 on the Oakland 36. And Pastorini with a flag on the play. He wanted to hand off, and there wasn't a taker.
On that last play, Ben, everything is on the strong safety the way the Redskins played it. He has to try to take the block around and make the tackle. That's a tough play for Kenny Houston.
New England leading Seattle 30-24. And let's see the interpretation of the flag. It is certainly against Oakland. Back to the 25. Jerry Markbright.
Holding, number 70, offense, first down.
Well, you win one and you lose one. Henry Lawrence is guilty of holding this time. 1st and 20 on the Oakland 26-yard line with 5 minutes left in the game. Look at what the Rams finally waking up offensively, ripping Green Bay by 30. Pastorini handing off to Kenny King, gets a block from Marvin, and drives out almost to the 40-yard line. Mickey Marvin leading the way for him.
I'll repeat what I said, Ben. They're pounding that left side. Here it goes again. Strong side sweep, handing off to the halfback. No penetration. Everything on the strong safety.
So that was Marvin who was driving Kenny Houston out. So I can understand why they call him the strong safety. They sure take some shots at him. For King, he has carried the ball now 23 times for 135 yards. 2nd and 7 on the 39. Here comes Whittington. Whittington that time brought down by Dusick as Marvin and Kenny Houston hit so hard.
We used to, if we got a team running that much to the left side, whether it was strong or weak, we'd shift our whole line over there, go over an extra man just to try to stop them.
So Jack Pardee realizing now, of course, he is not only fighting the Raiders, but also time. And time will always win. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left in the game, and the Raiders are leading by 10, 24-14. Pastorini off the hands of Whittington.
Well, Ben, you know what? Again, that ball is thrown behind him. See, Whittington's running completely across the field. He's got a good head of steam. Now watch the ball. It's thrown behind him. See that?
Off his left shoulder.
He probably should have had it. You know, the Raiders, Ben, have made 223 yards running today. 223 yards running.
Tom Flores, the one consolation, of course, the Raiders are winning, but they're still a very frustrated football club. 4th and 9 on the 37, and Ray Guy will be kicking. Mike Nelm standing on the Washington 15. And boy, there's going to be some hang time on that baby. So the reception is made at the 23.
Yeah. 4.6 hang time. Anybody in the ballpark can cover that kick.
24-14 Oakland.
The goes another gas station. Are the other gonna stop?
The Corolla Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car, gets such good gas mileage that for some, it could be a problem.
I gotta stop at the gas station. Why, we haven't had to stop for gas in hours. We haven't stopped for anything. Do you know why I bought this front-wheel drive Toyota? Allow guests the gas mileage. I'll stop, but I don't have to because this is Toyota's highest mileage car. And Lester. Oh, what a feeling. High mileage. Toyota.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
Back in New York, I'm Brent Musburger with an update, and the Tampa Bay-Dallas game has turned completely around on 2 plays. Doug Williams drove the Buccaneers down by 4 points, then he pressured the pass. Charlie Waters intercepted it. Then it was Danny White and the Cowboys going the length of the field, 7-yard scoring strike to Billy Joe Dupree, and now the Cowboys lead Tampa Bay by a score of 28-17, and the Rams are up on Green Bay 51-21. Let's send you back now to Vince Scully in Oakland.
Oakland leading Washington 24-14. We'll get an update on the Dallas Cowboys-Tampa Bay game in the 100-degree heat down there. And now, 1st and 10 for Joe Thiesmenn and Washington with 4 minutes left, and it's 24-14 Oakland. Thiesmenn settling and going to the right side, got his man going out of bounds at the last moment, Ricky Thompson, and he made the reception.
You know, I like what Joe did there. No matter what the defense is, he's outside of the rush. Comes right out. He can run or pass. Of course, he wants to throw first.
Got both feet down. So it is 2nd and 2 from the 31-yard line. Both backs release. No good. Intended for Buddy Hardiman, who was coming out of the backfield along with Clarence Harmon. Matt Millen was there.
Actually, then what you do in this situation, there's 3:51 to play, but you're down by 10 points. You start your 2-minute drill right now.
3:51 left. Hardiman and Thompson coming out. Walker is back in there as the tight end on the right side. McDaniel goes right and Monk goes left. Only this time they try Harmon. Harmon gets out to the 35-yard line. So on a 3rd and 2, they go for the first down, and he would appear to have made it, yes.
35.
1st and 10 from the 35. Again, both backs are out. Thiesmenn has Walker. And Walker made it at the 45-yard line and then came backwards. I think he might have had a first down, and he kept moving.
Then Joe Thiesmenn, he's a very good 2-minute quarterback.
2nd and 1 on the 44. He's got his first down to Harmon. And Harmon drives for a little more and gets to midfield.
He's throwing that ball. Everybody has to be in shape when you start your 2-minute drill this early.
1st and 10 with 2:53 left in the game. Thiesmenn going to throw it out of bounds. John McDaniel down there, defended by Mike Davis. So that'll stop it with 2:49 left in the game. Oakland 24, Washington 14.
There's a man in Washington, D.C., who's known as Mr. Washington, D.C., and he's 92 years old today. And we want to send him a happy birthday. Milton Kronheim.
2nd and 10 from midfield. 24-14 Oakland. Monk is right, and Thompson back in there left. Thiesmenn off the hands of Jeff Barnes. The pass was intended for Ricky Thompson, so Barnes almost had one. Jeff, who played up here at Cal, Been with the Raiders for 4 years, and it went right off his hand.
Well, Barnes has good height, and he got up in the air, and you have to throw over a defender like that or throw between them. And Joe tried to throw over him. He made a good play.
The 3rd and 10, 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. 24-14 Oakland. And Washington trying desperately to get on the boards again and quickly. McDaniel in motion. The pass to McDaniel. He's to the 40, and that's where he stopped. Pretty good hit by Mike Davis. Knocked him backwards.
Then the reason that's such a good play is he sends 80 McDaniel in motion, and they're in a zone, so nobody picks him up short, and he can pick up 7-8 yards.
So it is 1st and 10. Ball on the Oakland 39-yard line. Monk right, McDaniel left. Thiesmenn over the middle, and he's got Walker, and Walker is dropped at the 25. So Rick Walker, the big tight end who caught a touchdown pass, they're all under the whip as Thiesmenn drilling them, and he has finally come to the 2-minute warning. So with 2 minutes left in the game, Washington is driving, but Oakland leading 24-14.
George worked overtime to finish this suit for my wedding. He needs the deodorant that works overtime.
Bob worked overtime learning how to skate. He needs the deodorant that works overtime.
Old Spice Stick deodorant works 24 hours. Only Old Spice Stick gives you both 24-hour protection from odor plus that famous Old Spice scent.
Bucky's been working overtime to get ready for the game.
Good thing my Old Spice Stick deodorant works overtime, too.
Old Spice Stick, the deodorant that works overtime.
Taste Sheridan. Taste Sheridan. Come to a Sheridan.
I love the taste of Sheridan's.
You're gonna love every inch of the place. We've got taste.
Sheridan, you've got taste.
We've got style.
For a taste of Sheridan worldwide, call 800-325-3535.
We've got taste.
24-14 Oakland with 2 minutes left. Our thanks to executive producer Charles Milton, our producer Bob Rowe, director John McDonough. Particular thanks to our statistician, Dr. Bob Woods, and to all of the other fellows who worked so hard to bring the ball game to you. And there is still a lot left in it. Washington driving as it 1st and 10 on the Oakland 25 with 2 minutes left. Joe Thiesmenn has gone 17 for 21 and 189 yards and 1 touchdown.
Well, you know, Ben, if he can score in here, they can still go for an onside kick and tie this ball game up.
1st and 10 from the 25. In motion is McDaniel. Thiesmenn has it broken up, intended for Harmon. He thought that Barnes had interfered with him, but the call says no. Cedric Hartman putting some heat on Thiesmenn.
Well, it was a good play by the defense. Redskins used motion again, sending McDaniel in motion. They wanted to hit McDaniel. They took McDaniel away from him. The Raiders did. Good defensive play.
So 2nd and 10 on the 25. 4 precious seconds go down the drain on that one. Monk and McDaniel go left. The pass is low to Jackson, no good. He never had it.
Flag on the play, Vin.
It'll be a holding call against Washington. So in their haste to buy time, that precious commodity, Washington is guilty of holding, and there's 1:51 left in the game.
Well, the reason the ball was low is that Thiesmenn was rushed, and he threw it backpedaling, threw it off balance.
Holding, number 63, offense, 2nd down.
That's Fred Dean, who is spelling Terry Hermeling, and Dean is guilty of the holding infraction.
Well, they missed Terry Hermeling and George Stark, 2 fine tackles that can run block and pass block.
So 2nd and 20 on the Oakland 35-yard line. 1:51 left. Oakland 24, Washington 14. Thompson and Jackson go left. Thiesmenn is going to be buried. Big number 90, Willie Jones, got him along with Cedric Hardman. But Willie Jones last year had 10 quarterback sacks. And he's going to get another one. Here he comes.
They bring Willie Jones in a passing situation. Joe's hurt on this. Right here, let's see.
And there's another flag on the play.
Well, what he did, he bounced him. He bounced him.
And Thiesmenn is hurt.
Oh, unnecessary roughness, number 90, defense.
So Willie Jones is guilty of unnecessary roughness, and I don't
Was it
think
a sack?
that Thiesmenn is going to be able to continue. Let's see.
What he did, then.
It's a sack. We're going to go 15 from this spot.
We're going to go at least back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
That's what Jim Youngblood did to Tommy Kramer. You remember that situation?
Right.
He made the tackle, and then he bounced him. Now watch, he picks him up like a takedown. Watch him pick him up and bounce him here now.
Of the foul.
Right here.
First down.
Right there, you see that? You can break a collarbone there or get a shoulder separation.
And Thiesmann's finished.
That's what happened to Kramer against the Rams when Youngblood hit him like that.
There's Mike Kruchek coming in to take over for the injured Joe Thiesmenn with 1:46 left in the game. A handoff to Harmon. And Harmon is hit at the 20-yard line or he's gone. Burgess Owens made the tackle.
Oh, that's good.
Otherwise, it's a TD.
Joe's coming back in. That's good. He could have been... That's good news. He could have been severely injured on
Especially the way he went out with his left arm up against his chest. I thought maybe he did have a shoulder separation. But Thiesmenn is okay with 1:34, 24-14 Oakland. We have 1 minute and 34 seconds left in the ball game. The Redskins trailing all day are trailing again by 10 points. Oakland 24, Washington 14. Joe Heisman out for just one play. Kruchek on a handoff to Harmon. Got a first down inside the 20 to the Oakland 19. And Thiesmenn is back in there again.
You know, Ben, I think one of the reasons he wasn't hurt is he's conditioned his body. He works with the weights. He stretches. He utilizes the off season to get ready for the football season. If he hadn't conditioned himself, he could have been injured on that. He's built a lot of muscle up around the shoulder girdle. He took quite a blow there.
He did indeed. Willie Jones fired up, spelling John Matusak, and Jones almost finished Thiesmenn, but Joe is all right. So 1st and 10 from the 19. 1:34 left in the game. Monk goes left, Thompson right. Thiesmenn on a roll right. And it's broken up at the last moment. It was intended for Ricky Thompson, and it was Lester Hayes, who had the big interception a few minutes ago, who broke up the pass.
And I like what Thiesmenn did, whether the play was called or he called it. He rolled out away from the pressure. Here he can survey the field, use his mobility, get away from the rush. Fine defensive play by Hayes.
Oh, marvelous play. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 19. Slot left. Monk and Thompson. Backs go out. The pass is to Harmon, and he is inside the 10. Dropped at about the 7-yard line. He was hit by Mike Davis and Jeff Barnes, and somehow still held on to the ball.
He has a knack of doing that. He can hang on to that ball when he's being hit.
Hard to believe. 1st and goal from the 7. And Thiesmenn is going to be sacked on Matusak, and there's a flag on the play. Face mask, I believe, is the call.
The Raiders are offsides for sure. The Raiders beat the center snap.
That's Matusak coming in.
Now watch this.
A lot of movement and the offside. One of the officials gave a preliminary signal, face mask, which is why we called it.
This has been a long 4-minute drill. With the penalties and the timeouts.
There's still 1 minute and 7 seconds left.
A lot of time left. the Redskins are not out of this game.
Jerry Markbrod just said, stay with me, I need the numbers, and somebody hollered 72, which is John Matuzak. Offside.
They can score on that rollout again.
Grabbing the face mask, number 72 defense. Disregard. Offside, number 72 defense. First down.
So Matuzak was guilty of the face mask penalty right there. And that makes it 1st and goal on the 3. Harmon and Jackson with McDaniel and Thompson going right. And Thompson in motion.
There it is.
Thiesmenn looking in the end zone, and a driving attempt by Thompson, no good. Burgess Owens and Monty Jackson right there.
Ben, that's that same rollout I just talked about. Rollout, either left or right, pass first, run second. He showed pass a little bit too much. He got to kind of force so that they got to worry about the run. He went too deep, and the Raiders didn't bother to force on the run. They all played pass.
Oh, a minute left. 3rd and goal from the 3. Thiesmenn leading his man for a touchdown. It's Thompson. He was able to get inside on Lester Hayes. So Washington is now down by 4 as Thiesmenn makes a connection. Ricky Thompson just did get inside Lester Hayes, number 37, and a perfectly executed play. There it is.
Well, that's
you barely see it.
That's a perfectly executed pass in here, just as you said, a slant pass to your wide receiver.
So now Thiesmenn will hold. Mark Mosley trying to make it 24-21. The spot and the kick, it's good. So with 56 seconds left in the game, Washington is still alive. They're losing, but there's still breath in the body. It's 24-21 Oakland.
And you got to go for the onside kick. And Mark Mosley is one of the best. He's got 3 ways of kicking an onside kick. Let's see which one he uses.
Tell me about the 3 ways.
Well, he's got sort of a pooch kick where it's like a Texas leaguer in baseball.
Little blooper.
Yeah, where he lays the ball and it falls around the 35-yard line, and you send someone to go down there. He's got one where he'll just kick the ball left or right to have it go over the required distance. Then he's got one where he lines the ball, hits it real hard to get a ricochet off of the defender.
Okay, with that in mind, we will see how Mark Mosley handles his kickoff. It is 24-21 Oakland. The Washington Redskins moving the ball.
Look at the Raiders, Vin. They're all up.
It'll be interesting now to see the decision by Mosley. Let's check the people. Dave Casper, Raymond Chester, Burgess Owens, Derek Jensen, and McKinney, and Ramsey. They're all up on the line. They got people who know how to handle the ball. The first 5 men for Oakland.
Yeah, you put your ball handlers, all your ball handlers up there.
Well, they've got them there. And it's a little nubber, and it's caught by Casper, and he has it at midfield.
Poor kick.
So Mosley, a little blooper to Dave Casper, and Oakland is in business.
If you're going to kick that Texas leaguer, you got to kick it a little deeper than that. See, he kicked it right to him. If that's what he's trying to do.
And of course, Casper is certainly accustomed to handling the ball.
Real easy to handle, and you go right to the ground. You don't try to advance it. Protect the ball.
So Oakland 24-21, leading by 3, and they have everything on their side now. The score, the time, and they have the ball. And in good field position. Kenny King running into people. Dusak has him by the knees, and that'll be the end of that play.
Defensively, Ben, you use your timeouts. You use every timeout you have, and you take them just as quickly as you can.
If there has to be, George, maybe a difference in this game, it could very well be the running of Kenny King.
Well, the last time we checked, good point, they had 223 yards running. Oakland is not that effective a running team. And King, as you just mentioned, his running is 136 yards.
Which is about not quite 5 yards a carry, but he has really chewed them up.
Not many teams get over 100 yards running against that Redskin defense.
Pastorini has thrown 3 interceptions, so part of the story is that the Raiders are winning despite those interceptions.
Their running game was the difference. And the other thing is they use their running game in a passing situation.
So Dan Pastorini with 48 seconds left in the game, trying to wrap it up. It's been a bumpy ride for him. His first for keeps game here as the Oakland quarterback. They'd played a couple of preseason games here, but their first 2 games of the regular season were on the road, and he earned a lot of boos, but he's winning. Mark Van Egan, finally brought down by Pete Wysocki, who's at the bottom of that pile, number 50. 42 seconds left. So the Redskins hurting now. They can't defense the clock, trying to get one more shot with the football. Other scores, Minnesota rebounding after a defeat to Philadelphia, knocked off Chicago. Detroit, and I'm sure that Billy Sims had a hand in that, defeating the Cardinals 20-7. The 49ers, 10 points over the Jets, 37-27. They led at one time 24-0. Cleveland beat Kansas City 20-13. And Miami edging Atlanta 20-17. You know the best team in the AFC against the NFC? Well, it's a tie today. It still turns out to be Miami and Oakland. If Oakland wins this one, both Miami and Oakland since 1970 will have won 26 and lost only 5 to NFC teams. And Oakland will have won 21 of the last 22 meetings against the NFC. I guess you have to call that domination.
That's tremendous.
3rd and 7 on the Washington 47 with 42 seconds left. Chandler in motion. It'll be Kenny King trying to get outside Dusak, and Dusak made a good play to upend him.
And Kenny King also made a good play. If he kept going, he'd have gone out of bounds and stopped the clock. He stopped and gave himself up.
26 seconds and counting now. On a 4th and 8, of course, Oakland can consume all the time. There's Tom Flory saying, take your time, fellas. We just let the clock run.
Nope. Redskins are out of time.
Redskins out of timeouts. There's no way to stop it. And Mike Davis puts his arms around Flores, and congratulations, Dan Pastorini. Shaking hands. And the Oakland Raiders have defeated the Washington Redskins 24-21. For the Raiders, they've won all 4 of their previous regular season overtime games until they had lost last week to San Diego. They rebounded, not with a particularly great effort, but Washington tenaciously hanging tough, ran out of time as Oakland won at 24-21.
Well, I think the big thing here is the Oakland running game was much more effective than anyone anticipated. Pastorini's passing was just enough to keep the Redskins a little bit honest. But the Oakland running game was used at the proper time, used against the nickel defense. King's running. He's going to be an outstanding back for them. And Van Egan's running.
Here's the interesting thing. As we said earlier, one of the big differences, the running game of the Raiders and the non-existent running game of the Washington Redskins. For instance, Wilbur Jackson carried 9 times for 18 yards. That's nothing. Harmon carried 6 times for 21 yards. That's only a little better than 3 a carry. Ricky Klatt carried 8 times for only 30 yards, less than 4 yards a carry. So without a running game, Thiesmenn was exposed. You knew all he could do was scramble and pass, and that's hardly ever enough.
And really, he did a good job under the circumstances. He kept his ball club in right till the end, and also the Redskin defense coming up with 3 big interceptions put them back in the ball game. I thought that the Raiders played like they were going to blow the Redskins out, but offensive mistakes and the Redskins defense and Thiesmenn scrambling made a ball game out of it.
So Oakland continued to lead by 10 for most of the game. Washington came back to narrow it, but Oakland the winner 24-21. This is Vin Scully for George Allen. Now back to CBS and NFL Control in New York.
All right, thank you very much, Pat Summerall. Let's quickly take everyone around the scoreboard before we send you into the premiere of 60 Minutes tonight. The Dallas Cowboys, as you just witnessed, defeated Tampa Bay 28-17. The Bucs lose for the first time. 30-13, San Diego wins a game in Denver. They did not win an entire game there throughout the 70s. Last victory there for the Chargers, 68. Final, Oakland 24, Washington 21. AFC, NFC now are tied. Game still in progress, 37-31. New England over Seattle. And Los Angeles routs Green Bay 51-21. They intercept passes 99 and 83 yards for a touchdown. Houston downs Baltimore 21-16 is the final score there. Buffalo comes back against New Orleans 35-26. 20-13, Cleveland over Kansas City is a final. 30-28, Cincinnati upsets the defending world champions. All finals, Miami over Atlanta, 20-17 was the final there. Billy Sims got 95 yards and 1 touchdown. Detroit beat St. Louis, and the Lions are unbeaten. 34-14, Minnesota winner over Chicago. They shut down on Peyton, and San Francisco shuts down the Jets by 10, 37-27. So for Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from New York. We hope that you've enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS. 60 Minutes is next.
Get ready for television events. 60 Minutes, last year's most popular program, kicks off its new season with 3 brand new stories. Be there for the season premiere of 60 Minutes. Next on CBS.